Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another exciting Comic-Con 2022 episode of Hollywood After Dark. Who knew Comic-Con would be the place not only where dreams are made, but crushed, smashed, destroyed, snuffed out of existence like a terrorist going after Tony Montana's Miami mansion. Folks, Jim Lee destroys the Snyderverse, kills it, takes it out back, and yeets it like it's old fucking Yeller. That and a whole hell of a lot more tonight, guys. Hollywood After Dark. Slap the like. Get ready for some action. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. And man, I think it's going to be one for the ages, to be fair. I think every night is one for the ages here on Hollywood After Dark. Just to reiterate, for those of you out there who are catching this live or maybe finding the link on the replay, the show is being archived over on youtube.com/Hollywood After Dark. That's a great way to catch up on the archive of it. Whereas over here, it does get unlisted after the show goes live. And that is that's an algorithm thing. I can go into it further later on if anyone wants, but that's really what it boils down to. But like I said, today, oh my God, I was not expecting what happened today to happen, friends. And we are going to have ourselves a hell of a conversation about it. Really quick, Ty from Pop Culture Corner might be joining us again. Dane from Actual Fandom should be joining us in a few minutes. And I see people asking about Mad Max the Mandalorian. I don't think he's going to come in tonight. I haven't talked to him today. And if Ty is here, I probably won't invite him in just because I want to keep things on point and not go down the path that we went yesterday. So why don't we just bring in the first, you know him, right? You know him, you love him, Caden and RJ. Guys, oh my goodness. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Motherfucker.
What a day today, man. I've had so much fun trolling people.
Are we going to delete our channels now?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know.
They got to delete our channels and Twitter accounts.
I know. I don't know. But I'll tell you this though, right? It ain't over till Saturday at 11:15. Let's be fair.
That's
all right.
True.
I'll fully acknowledge that. I'll be on there. All right. I'll say it. We don't know until Saturday at 11:15 when that panel ends, when the Warner Brothers New Line Shazam Black Adam panel ends, and if there's no Henry Cavill or no announcement of Man of Steel 2 or anything else that's going to go, or Zack Snyder or anything, no Superman, no nothing. At that point, no, we can raise whatever flag we want to raise.
All right, even if Henry Cavill's there, doesn't mean that the Snyderverse is.
Well, if Henry Cavill is there, I mean, unless Henry Cavill is on stage at the event, I think it's going to be a little bit on the different side. So, you know, again, as I like to point out, as I like to remind people, I'm all for more. Okay, I'm all for more Superman. I'm all for more Batman. I'm all for more Wonder Woman, just not directed by Patty Jenkins or written by Patty Jenkins. I think 84 is an obviously good reason to bring that up. I would even watch a Cyborg movie, even though I think Ray Fisher's a crybaby. I would see all these movies. I have no problem. But who the fuck is messaging me? My phone is going off right now.
Oh, you? I was like, who is that?
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's TikTok messaging.
Oh.
Some ladies just just tons of videos. All right. Thank you for your support, lady who I don't know. I'll read the comment later. It's on a true crime thing. I can totally tell. It's on one of my true crime videos. But anyway, the whole thing is, though, man, is that this particular situation. Oh, I see. Oh, we see Mad Max is here. Says, I'm ready to deliver all your L's. Max, buddy. I mean, look, I get it. You're going to ride that fence. Okay. You're going to ride that fence. And I understand that. Okay. And the thing is, we all want the same thing, but I think we're really, really, really needing to realize here that, you know, when it's someone like Jim Lee says something, then this is not like, again, it's not some Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Nobody. This ain't nobody. This is, well, my Twitter post today freaking blew up like crazy. Big Screen Leaks tweeted me. Josh from Dinner Nerds tweeted me. Christopher Mark tweeted me. Everybody looked at my video, my Twitter account today. It was crazy. Like I've been like, I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way it did, but it did. You know, I wasn't even the first one to like post it, but my post got the most attention, which is crazy.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. And that's great when that does. You know, I had a video from Comic-Con actually that I shot in 2007 go viral. And it ended up getting completely ripped off by Opie and Anthony. And they slapped their watermark on it and put it up on their website.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
Somebody did that to me actually. Like some DC World account took my exact tweet, like the exact same wording, and posted it to get their clicks, which is weird. It's like, just make your own tweet. Just share the video.
IGN stole my tweet.
IGN
stole
did
my
say
She-Hulk Shang-Chi tweet. But it flopped and mine succeeded. So
well, I mean, also remember I was in TMZ, written by a faceless article, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. That's
you want to dive into the Jim Lee thing now, or you want to wait?
Well, I think what I want to do is I want to show you guys my viral Comic-Con video first to give you guys an idea. So I'm not lying about this, okay? This is actually pretty cool. This happened back in 2007. If you guys hear a plane, I apologize. It's hot as balls up here, so I want to make sure that I'm cool while talking to y'all. But this is from Comic-Con 2007. It's a video titled "Kevin Smith Fights Back." I should have named it "Kevin Smith Strikes Back." Right?
Yeah.
Right? I should have named it that. I didn't name it that because that would have been caught up in the algorithm for I'm gonna rename it actually. I'm gonna rename it to Kevin Smith Strikes Back because that should get picked up in some algorithm this weekend. Good stuff there. Let's see. Oh, okay. And then this is what this exchange. This is the perfect 2-minute clip I could ever get.
Do you ever plan on making an original movie without rehashing any of your old characters that doesn't suck?
Yeah, I do. It's a good question. Kinda. I totally do. Zack and Miri, the next one. Zack and Miri Make a Porno doesn't feature any of the characters, doesn't touch on any of the old movies. And Red State, we're doing a little horror movie. That's kind of way different than the other stuff I've done. And I swear to God, I'll get around to them as soon as I pull my cock out of your mother's ass. So.
Wow.
I'm gonna walk to the mic and give him shit. Wasn't that cool, honey? Oh shit, I don't have a girlfriend. Now I'm just gonna fucking pimp away. Pimping away. No, I'm coming back. There's more going on this. That's what I'm gonna do on a Friday night. Attack my betters. I can't hear you, dude, but I can see your man tits from here.
Oh.
Well, then you got mine until I saw yours. 2 words, wear black and wear layers. Now I'm gonna pimp away. Don't wait on that. Way to put the nail in my coffin by showing off your shame.
Oh yeah, he flashed it.
Oh, he did?
Never a good idea to attack the dude with the microphone. But I give you props for the balls, sir. Kinda. Yes.
So that is, I shot that. It has currently, how many views does it have? It currently has 1.3 million.
Wow.
1,367,000 views. This has been shared around a lot over the span of the last 15 years. Actually, this clip turns 15 years old this weekend.
Oh my God.
I uploaded it originally. When did I originally upload this one here? It doesn't tell you as much anymore. But it is very much an oldie but a goodie. And I've actually told Kevin Smith that I'm the guy that filmed this and everything else. Now I see Donovan here says Kevin Smith is a shell of what he was. You know what, man? I think Kevin at this point has decided overall to just kind of like to kind of not go down that path. It's easy to do, and it's easy to fire back like that. But like, you know, that guy, I mean, here's the thing. If you go to Comic-Con and you attack him and everything else, like he might fire back like that. It depends on the mood that he's in. But that's peak top tier Kevin Smith, in my opinion. And it's great. Scott here says, you look like Kevin Smith. Yeah, I get that a lot, dude. Actually, one time in Hall H, I believe I was actually mistaken for Kevin Smith by the guy who plays Batista in Dexter.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I forget his name right now. And I love the guy's an actor, right? So I'm walking through. So this is like the end of the day Hall H. And the Marvel panel had just ended, and we're getting ready for the Kevin Smith panel. And I went to the bathroom, and I'm walking back to my friends, and I passed by the guy, right? And I look at him, and I'm a fan, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm a big fan, you know? And he looks at me, and he like lights up this smile, and he just goes like, he's like, oh, dude, I love your work or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm a big fan. He shook my hand. And then I'm walking away, and I'm like, it's kind of dark. It's a little dark. It's dim in the room, right? And I'm like, yo, did he think I was Kevin Smith, dude?
Did he mention any of Kevin Smith's movies?
Like, no, he just said that. I mean, like, dude, but even the other day I was at Taco Bell with my brother, and like we're getting dinner, and this guy from over the counter looks at me and he just goes, "You're fantastic." And I'm like, "Thank you." Like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, like, do you watch me on the TikTok? Like, what's going on here? Don't Google my fucking name, right? But like, you know, we did a bunch of that. It was just a lot of fun. I mean,
don't Google my name. Look it up on YouTube. Sure. Yeah. No,
I had a conversation yesterday where I more or less had to explain what happens if you Google me. But more on that conversation at a later date. But anyway, there is a lot going on with Comic-Con this weekend. We've had a lot happen. So yeah, why don't we dive in? Cons here. Google Matt Jarbo Rule 34. Oh yeah.
No.
You can.
No.
It's a thing there. Oh yeah, Justin, and then also the story of people who took my picture at Universal at the backlot. Yeah. Okay. So I was on the board of directors of this nonprofit in LA, right? It's called the Scriptwriters Network, and I was their social media director for a short period of time. And once a month, we would go to the backlot of Universal, and we'd have a meeting there with actual writers who like working writers in Hollywood or working producers or things like that. And, you know, like that's how I met the guy who produced Freddy versus Jason and everything else. And so it's like, and I met the guy who wrote the original Logan's Run, the book. Oh, wow. Yeah. And like, and I love Logan's Run. That dude was cool as fuck. He's passed away, but like that dude was cool. What's going on, Dane? I'm just telling a quick story about Universal Studios backlot from a number of years ago. And I was walking to our group. Right. And you know how it is. You go to the Universal backlot, there's the tour, and then everyone's got their cameras. Every time they see somebody walking, they're like, yo, is this a celebrity? And so like I'm walking and whatever. And I got like shorts and flip flops on, which is totally not something you see people wearing in any kind of professional space in Los Angeles. So you figure I'd have to be somebody important to walk around in the backlot of Universal with shorts and flip flops and a backwards hat on. I'd have to be, right? Well, anyway, this tour bus comes up and everyone like pulls out their cameras and they're all like looking at me. And I just kind of figured like from a distance, they probably think that my fat waddling butt looks like Kevin Smith because this is like pre-heart attack. So, and like, this is like jorts Kevin Smith. Remember Kevin Smith in his jorts?
Oh, yeah.
Look up that photo if you haven't. It's funny as fuck. The highest water pants you'll ever see. And so all of a sudden they're looking at me and I just kind of look at them and kind of give them a wave and belt out Snoochie Boochies or something like that. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, all these pictures and everything else, like all this stuff was great. And so they all probably thought that I looked like that I was Kevin Smith. That's probably what they all thought about.
Kevin Smith is here.
Yeah. Oh my God, everybody, Kevin Smith is here. And so we definitely have got, there's that, you know, yeah. Although, I'm fine with that, RJ. I'm fine with that. Okay. And so it's always been a lot of fun on that front. But even going to Comic-Con, people might think every once in a while that like I either am cosplaying as Kevin Smith or like I am Kevin Smith. And, you know, because there are times where like celebrities will just walk around on their own. You know, like I've seen Joss Whedon this is like 2010 Joss Whedon. Walk around.
Not modern day Joss Whedon.
Yeah, not modern day. Yeah, he was still a piece of shit, but just it wasn't as known back then.
Right.
And
right.
And so like I saw him walking around. Like I've run across like Zach Ward, who played like Scott Farkas in A Christmas Story and shit. Like, I mean, I saw John Schnepp one year before he passed. I told him his documentary was awesome. And you just walk around and you'll just see like Simon Pegg will like put on a mask and walk around. You know, like celebrities will do it, but they'll keep a bit of a low profile every once in a while.
Yeah, so, I remember one year, what was it that I think Henry Cavill was walking around just as like Michael Myers or something.
Yeah, well, there was the one year, it was I think 2013, where Bryan Cranston walked around dressed as Heisenberg.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I saw him. Okay, I'm walking around, like I'm by Artists Alley, which is in like the far. It's like Hall, like was it EFG? Yeah, it's like Hall G, right? Hall whatever. It's closer to H, but it's not. Again, when you hear Hall H, it's literally like there's halls A through H. So So I was at Hall G.
Southwest.
I was like I was in Hall G where there's Artist Alley and everything, and I'm walking around, and all of a sudden I see this guy like dressed like Heisenberg, and I'm like, oh man, that looks really good, but he's wearing a mask. Like a lifelike mask of Heisenberg.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's leather masks by a Halloween store.
Yeah, but it was a really, really high quality one. You know, it looked just like Bryan Cranston, and I'm like, oh man, that's pretty fucking cool because I love Breaking Bad, right? And then like as the guy is walking through the crowd, he looks at me from the mask, and I look back at him, and I look in his eyes, and it felt like I was being stared at into my soul. Like it felt like I was being glared down by Heisenberg, like him going, I am the one who knocks and shit, like that kind of Heisenberg, right?
You're like, are you Bryan Cranston? And he's like, you're goddamn right.
No, I didn't say nothing to the guy because I couldn't muster anything to say, but I felt, you ever been in a situation like that where like you're out in public and something happens where like your whole world view just kind of vignettes and becomes a pinhole, right?
Yeah.
That's how I felt in that moment. I can't explain it, but I was being stared at by like a psychopath is what it felt like to me. And I'm like, walked away, and I'm like, oh man, that was creepy as fuck, but that was really good. And then I'm like, yo, was that Bryan Cranston in a mask? Because he had that look. He had that fucking look. So anyway, I finish out my day and I go back to work that night, and I'm surfing through the internet that night, and I come across like IMDb, and it's like, oh, Bryan Cranston surprised everybody dressed as Heisenberg at Comic-Con. And I immediately bring up a picture, and I'm like, fuck, it was him. Like, it's awesome. You know?
Amazing.
Oh no, I mean, did I ever tell you guys my Mark Hamill story? I have one. It's a very brief. We'll get into the Snyder stuff here in a second. But the Mark Hamill one, this was 2005, last day of the show. I'm up on the sales pavilion out overlooking Coronado and San Diego Bay. It's the best spot on the entire convention center. It's the best place to hang out. It's amazing up there. I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, I'm up there having my morning cigarette, and I'm fucking hungover from the night before. And all of a sudden I look down, and like there's these slanted columns, but I see like some dude kind of poking his head out and like looking at me, but I can't get a good look at him. I just see that it's like some guy like looking at me, right? And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, that's kind of weird because like whatever, because every time I look back at him, he'd shuffle back behind the pillar. I'm like, all right. And I'm just smoking my cigarette. And then I see that, you know, that dude's cigarette drops, a foot puts it out. And all of a sudden, you know, all these elite security guards come, like 6 of them, come walking around the corner escorting this guy. And I'm just sitting there smoking my cigarette, and I just look at him, and he's staring me down the whole time. And I look closer, and I realize, like, holy fuck, that's Mark Hamill. And I'm like, but what's he doing, like, mad dogging me, right? Like, why the fuck is, like, what have I done to Mark Hamill? This is, you know, pre-YouTube days. Like, what have I done to Mark Hamill? Then I look down, and I realize I'm wearing my Star Wars Battlefront t-shirt that I got at the convention. And it's got a huge Stormtrooper helmet on it. And I'm like, oh, he fucking thought that I'm a fucking Star Wars nerd and I was going to bum rush him for some shit. Right. I mean, probably. If I would have known it was him, I might have said something. Or if I would have known, I knew a bunch of the security guards that were there. And like, if I would have known one of those guards, I probably could have been like, yo, put in a good word and shit. Right. But like, I mean, that was so weird to see him just in that mood, in that mindset. But I'll tell you the coolest one. And then I have a bunch, but the coolest one is a couple years later. I'm up there with my friends. We're hanging out. And while they're smoking, and all of a sudden Corey Feldman came walking by. But Corey Feldman came walking by with an entourage, and he was wearing his like Michael Jackson-esque flowing t-shirts. You know, you ever seen him dressed like that?
Yeah, was he with him?
Yeah.
Was it a bunch of broads or what?
It wasn't a bunch of broads. It was a bunch of dudes. And then I just blurted out, "Goonies never say die." right? Because it's a convention, and that's Corey Feldman, and you fucking have to. And then he just goes like, hey, say hi to Corey Haim, right? And then right behind him was Corey Haim holding a video camera, and he just points it at us, and I just do the fucking devil horns, right? I'm like, what's up? And shit. Like, it's just fucking Corey Haim, like the Coreys. Like, no, RJ, you don't understand, dude. Dane, I know you understand, but like,
I do.
You don't understand. The Coreys were huge when we were kids.
Oh,
massive. Yeah, Chris gets it too. What's up, Chris? Sorry, I meant to say hi. But it's like, they were massive. So seeing Corey Feldman and
License
Corey
to Drive,
together,
Dream a Little Dream,
yeah.
dude.
Blown away. Remember fucking Blown Away with Nicole
was that
Eggert?
Like the crazy one? With
that was the one with
the
right. Like that was weird, you know. But like the Coreys were a big thing back then, and so seeing them together was really fucking cool. And then of course Corey Haim passed away, like I think about 2 years later or a year later or something. But you know that's the thing I love and I miss about Comic-Con. For all the bullshit, there's usually something really cool that you get to see. At least you used to. Now everything is like segmented off and there's like 150,000 people and it's just so many people. But my friend Hillary was down there today walking around downtown. She happened just to randomly come across Kevin Smith and just got a whole bunch of selfies with Kevin Smith.
See, I lose my shit. There's a lot of haters, but I fucking love him, dude.
Oh, no, flat the fuck out. I was just like, I just messaged her and I'm like, I fucking hate you. Have a blast. You know, like, because Hillary what she does is she doesn't ever get a hotel room. She literally camps out at Comic-Con for the entirety of the 5 days.
Crazy.
So a lot of people do because like they do the Hall H stuff. This is like, you know, the Hall H dedicated crowd, right? Yeah. So what I do with Hillary is because I'm lazy. As I find her, I hang out with her friends for a bit because we used to work together at the drive-in. We've been friends for years. And I'm like, listen, hold my spot. I'll bring you guys burritos in the morning. And they're like, all right. And that's currency in San Diego. You have to understand that. If you're like, I'll bring, like, where do you want a burrito from? I will bring you a breakfast burrito. And it like, usually there's a litany of restaurants, but it's like, people have their favorite. You go there, you get them their burrito. They're like $5 and then they're happy and they hold your place and you don't got to worry about shit. You know, it's a huge communal thing once you know, like the hardcore oldies that have been to con for years. Now I'm all fucking homesick. God fucking damn it. I miss San Diego. But anyway.
I mean, it's fun.
It's you don't even know. It's fine. You don't even know.
Hi, Chris. What's up?
I ain't been here in a while, and I wanted to come. I didn't know it was going to do all this Snyder shit was going to happen. I just wanted to say, what's up, Cameron? I miss you. RJ, I fucking love you. You're killing it, dude. You're killing it. Like, no joke.
Thank you.
You are fucking killing it. I watched your shit crazy all day this week. Every week I've been watching it. Ashley's fucking killing it. Even Max, that interview they did tonight with Ty the animator.
That was really
they
cool.
fucking crushed it, man. And Maddie, listen. Dude, all you motherfuckers, man. Can I get loud for a second? I'm sorry. I'm
loud. It's all good.
All you motherfuckers talking shit about this dude, man. All you motherfuckers, man. You fucking haters, man. You fucking vagina having fucking pussies, man. Bringing up old shit. You know how I know it's so fucking fraudulent? Because I used to be that guy. I used to come at this motherfucker for old shit, but he has literally lived a redemption arc and came back from the fucking ashes like a fucking phoenix. Maddie, listen, man, you didn't have to say all those kind words about me or stick up for me. I didn't deserve it, and you did it, and I just want to say thank you, man. You know, because I was going through some fucking shit, and I'm watching all this Snyder shit happen, and all these fake ass motherfuckers that are just like clout chasing and scooping, and I swear to God, man. Pantera, just give me 5 minutes alone with one of these motherfuckers, man. All right, I'm done. My rant's over.
I appreciate that.
You guys are crushing it, man.
Chris is a good dude. He's a good guy. And the internet, we all know the internet can be a bit of a rowdy place, and shit can get real crazy real quick. And that's really what it boils down to here. But as always, it's fun to be here. It's fun to be chatting with everybody. That's why, I wasn't even going to go live tonight. I really wasn't. I was like, you know what?
Jim Lee decided to.
Yeah.
Comic-Con weekend. You got to start on Thursday. You know the rules. Man.
Well, I was going to go see Nope. I wanted to go see Nope. I really want to go see Nope.
Hey, real quick, did any of you guys? This is totally off topic, but did any of you guys see the trailer for Dungeons and Dragons Honor?
I have it. I have it ready to go.
I have. Yeah, it looks.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I don't want to give no spoilers, but I did watch it, RJ. And the coolest part, I don't know why, Something about the way that dragon.
Well, don't say I want to watch it. I definitely want to fucking watch it.
You gotta
So
watch it, man. It's dope.
yeah. So I definitely want to give it I will watch it tonight. There's a lot to get through tonight. There's actually a lot of trailers. Some good stuff that came out though. But real quick, we did get a $20 super chat from Ron C. Thank you so much, Ron. Really appreciate it, buddy. Asks here, Matt and crew, hello. What's your favorite film from the 80s you would imagine to be remade? Possible for everyone to comment. If not, cool. Enjoy the show. There's a lot of movies from the 80s that I feel could be updated.
There's a couple, like Last Starfighter, The Beastmaster.
Oh my God, deep cuts,
Yeah.
RJ. No shit, that's old school, man.
You know what I think would be like
The Kodak Armada, baby. The Kodak Armada.
the absolute best thing. The absolute best thing that could be remade that would just fit perfectly with what's going on in the world today would be Running Man.
Oh yeah, Running Man.
I'll tell you one guy.
Okay.
Classic.
Listen, I disagree.
Matt, you've probably seen it. It's a cult classic. Charlie Sheen. He almost didn't get Platoon because Oliver Stone hated this movie so much, but it became a cult classic, and I'm a car guy. I think they could redo The Wraith, and it would be good.
Wraith, too. Yeah, Wraith could be interesting.
I don't think I saw that one.
It's a black car, and they drag race, and he comes back. He's a reincarnated dude who comes back in a special car that murders people.
Yeah.
Oh, like The Crow.
It's like Christine meets friggin' Fast and Furious.
all right. I mean, like, that would be something. I think if it's like an unknown movie, like that has maybe I don't even know, like a cult following, but just like kind of pseudo known from the 80s, you could see something getting remade. Like, like what is it? Like Jacob's Ladder could get remade, right?
They
but
did
like
remake it.
Yeah, they or they are going to?
Yeah, no, they remade it, but they just they it's really good. They swapped the cast. It's an all black cast.
I mean,
really
but okay. So I mean, like, but something like that could be remade. Whereas like Silver Bullet, fuck you, don't touch it.
No, don't mess, or Goonies or
Goonies.
Leave shit like that alone, man.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like there's like
like a type of remake for Goonies, but it's more of like this film class who's trying to remake Goonies. Like that's
that's that TV show. That's that TV show. No, that got canceled. That got they did greenlight it, but then they canceled it.
No, they didn't cancel it. They are starting production this fall.
That's fucking lame.
Huh. Yeah,
it's like
I'm sick of your shit. You think you know everything, man? Like I'm sick of your shit.
I was trying to think of like what would be a good 80s movie, because like my favorite.
Do you think they would ever remake First Blood to make it more like the book?
No, I don't. You don't need to remake First Blood. First Blood is great.
I want an update on The Clue.
You know why they wouldn't remake it to be like the book?
I want an update. Like I want an update on what's going on with it. Like,
Spherical Man.
Fuck
That's a great choice.
Fly to the Navigator. Hell yeah.
They are doing it. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing a female-led reboot of Flight of the Navigator for Disney Plus.
That's great. Do you guys remember what's her name from Sex and the City was in that? She was the nurse.
Yes.
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Sarah Jessica Parker was in that. Yep.
Oh, I haven't watched it in a long time. Did you guys hear that the main guy in that got arrested for trying to rob a bank in Canada?
Wow. I
actually talked about this years ago, and then I got an email from some like Canadian documentarian that wanted to interview me about it. And I'm like, all I did is make a YouTube video. Like, it's not that significant, but like,
Eyes Wide Shut too.
No, I would say there's a lot of
Weird Science. No, don't remake Weird Science.
Well, it's like Donovan says here, remake Lost Boys. You're dead to me. Again, Lost Boys is a classic. It's a seminal.
You don't touch
classic.
That one.
You don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch
Predator,
Weird Science either.
Die Hard, fucking. Don't touch those.
How about They Live? What y'all think about that?
Nope.
Nope.
Anything Carpenter, you leave alone.
Leave it alone. Not to mention the undertone social commentary of that movie is so far ahead of its time. Like, John Carpenter knew what was coming, man. If you really watch that movie, don't mess with that one.
Well, I mean, plus that fight scene between Roddy Piper and Keith David is still fucking goat.
So good.
Keith David is great.
112 minutes long.
What about okay, this is not good. I'm not trying to make sacrilege, but what if Marvel Studios decides to remake the Howard the Duck movie?
Like that, I could go along.
I mean, that movie is not good, dude. Like I watched it probably about a year ago, thinking
it's
maybe
it's guilty pleasure.
I honestly didn't enjoy it really. I mean, maybe a couple of moments here and there, but like overall,
Thompson.
Yeah, she's hot. But like the movie itself is kind of just a messy piece of shit. And I was like, man, this isn't even fun in a bad way. Like,
see, I have nothing but fond memories about it. But a long time ago, I rewatched The Last Starfighter, and I just did not care for it.
What?
Like. because it did not live up. It's like if they wanted to remake The Last Starfighter, yeah, it hasn't aged well.
It hasn't aged well, but
I would totally watch
classic.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it to you. Hold on. I'll put it to you like this. Like I watched it. Okay, when I was in film school, rewatching anything is a bad idea. Okay, like when you're learning how to make a movie, and you start watching movies, you know what you find? Every single flaw.
That's what Kevin Smith said. He said he loves making movies, but now the magic is gone because he knows how the sausage is made.
Exactly. Yep. So it's like I was watching Tim Burton's Batman.
The sausage isn't ruined for me, though. It's just that I have a more clarity and more observation to look for.
But the thing is, though, but there's also the age difference of what is iconic to you when you were a kid is closer to where we are now, rather than movies that were iconic to us as kids.
Right.
And like how they're
Ryan Landis, that's a great dude, that's a great movie. That's a cult classic too. Repo Man with Emilio Estevez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Repo Man was really good.
That's such a wow, he's pulling y'all got some old school memory. The movie young as hell. And you know these movies, which proves, Matt, that these movies are timeless.
Did anybody
if the
see
younger
the
generation
remake?
knows these movies that we grew up with, that means those movies shouldn't be messed with.
Did anybody see the remake of Death Wish with Bruce Willis?
It wasn't bad.
I wanted to, I just never got around to it, but I hear good things about it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty good.
That was Eli Roth, right?
That was Eli Roth, yeah.
It was Eli Roth, yep.
I think like if I'm gonna like my favorite film from the 80s, like I always go back to one in particular, and it's Big Trouble in Little China, because I distinctly remember being 5 years old, visiting San Diego for the first time. We had just gone to like I think SeaWorld for the day. We're visiting my aunt and my uncle. And we went to the video store. We rented Space Camp and Big Trouble in Little China. And I remember
I love
sitting there.
Movies, Matt. Yep.
I don't remember much about Space Camp. I'll tell you that. I'll be honest.
They accidentally get launched. I think it's.
Oh no, it's a good movie. I've seen it since.
Phoenix's first movie, I think.
But it's like, but for me in that moment, in that particular instance, because I think we got them on beta. I think we rented them on beta. Like that's how long ago this was. And I remember, but beta. I remember watching Big Trouble in Little China for the first time. I just remember going, oh my God, this movie. And it being just in my mind, it is still one of the most perfect films ever made. There could be whatever flaw with it you want to find. I don't care. I love that movie from top to bottom.
It's the only, I'm about to give you guys a truth bomb. I'm sorry. It's the only John Carpenter movie I've never seen.
What?
Okay. Hold on. Never seen that, dude. That's okay. That's okay. Holy shit, you lucky motherfucker. You fucking kidding me? Because you've never seen it. You get to experience it.
Wait, which one? Which one is
Big Trouble in Little China.
And it's on HBO Max, I think. I watched it.
Dude, you lucky bitch. Are you fucking kidding me?
Supposed to be The Rock was supposed to be doing a remake,
that one I would boycott that. I would
No, you wouldn't.
I'd see it at a protest, but
it's The Rock.
No, because if if it was a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, that's one thing. All right? If it's going to be if The Rock is playing Jack Burton, fuck you. Fuck you. Eat shit, fuck you, die in a fire. Flat the fuck out. No. The Rock is not Kurt Russell. The Rock is not Jack Burton. Yeah. Okay. The Rock could not deliver the line, I'm going to tell you about an accident and I don't want to hear act of God in any conceivable way that would have the impact that Kurt Russell did.
I think you're right. And I think that The Rock is too, because you got to believe that this dude thinks he's badass, but is not badass, which is what Jack Burton is, right? Like he thinks he's way more competent than he is. And The Rock just looks like a competent dude. You know what I mean? Like you put him in that role.
Yeah. Like The Rock couldn't say "son of a bitch must pay," right? Or he couldn't. He couldn't give the great "fuck it" line. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't deliver it with the same cadence that Kurt Russell did.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, right.
Wow, is it really that big of a movie? I thought
yes.
It was a B-movie failure.
No, dude. Oh my. Okay.
Oh no, it was a big failure.
Oh, it was back in the late 80s. So that was 85, I think, was Big Trouble. It was okay, dude. Do you know anything about the plot of the movie?
Just that he's a trucker and there's some crazy ninjas.
Okay, that's well enough to start off. Okay, so basically, Jack Burton is a trucker, ends up going to San Francisco to meet up with his friend. His friend is picking up his girlfriend, like his long distance girlfriend from China, who he's marrying, who has green eyes. She gets kidnapped by basically like a gang of Chinese gangsters. They try to go rescue her. In the process, they uncover a 2,000-year-old spiritual war between basically two warring factions. One of them, the evil guys, led by David fucking Lopan, one of the best and coolest fucking villains of all time. James Hong is a godsend in that role. He is backed up by 3 warriors that can wield lightning. One can is really good with swords, and the other one is
lightning, thunder, and rain.
Yeah, lightning, thunder, and rain. They're basically elemental gods. And then so then Jack Burton is like, well, we got to go figure this out. You got Kim Cattrall in the movie as Grace, an intrepid reporter. Oh no, she's an activist who brings in her friend.
Who did the pizza delivery boy from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this?
No, right? No. I don't believe Ernie. I don't think Ernie Reyes Jr. is in this movie. He would have been a little bit young, because right around that time was also Sidekicks with Chuck Norris. Which, by the way,
right?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Sidekicks. That was Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis. It was Blue something or another, Blue man. Crush? It was not Blue Crush. That was 2003.
An 80s movie.
Yeah, look up Ernie Reyes Jr. and Chuck Norris. It's they were in a couple things together. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's more or less Jack Burton and these ninjas, these good ninjas, have to go into the underworld in order to stop Lopan from completing this ceremony to where he can basically ascend to immortality and become a god and take over the world. That's basically it.
So it's like a fantasy,
Yes.
Thing?
Yes.
No shit.
Yes.
How the fuck am I asleep?
It is, dude. Guys, I'm in the chat. Come on, Big Trouble Little China, one of the best films of all fucking time.
Really? No, Baja Blue and Gold Drug.
1986. Yes, on Hulu. I'm watching this shit tonight, dude.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like if you take a western and a ninja movie and kind of a buddy comedy. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird mix, but it's awesome. It's just something you could only do once and have it just be kind of lightning in a bottle. And
that's lightning in a bottle. But they do have a comic book that came out a couple years ago called The Old Man Jack, which is I've heard interesting things about it. But hold on here. Unpopular take: The Golden Child is better than Big Trouble. Now listen,
nah,
it's unpopular because it's bad.
I like The Golden Child. Okay, I do.
I do too. Eddie Murphy was funny in it.
He was great in that movie. Yeah. Charles Dance was excellent as Satan, right? Or as the bad guy. It was a fun movie. But it takes itself a little bit too seriously. Whereas whereas Big Trouble does not. And it's infinitely quotable. John Carpenter did the soundtrack. Right, it's it's all 80s synth, mid 80s dark synth, dude. The soundtrack is fucking awesome. I mean, you got Kim Cattrall pre-Mannequin, so still smoking hot Kim Cattrall. That's honestly, if you ever, I can tell you, I figured out when I was straight because I watched Big Trouble and there was Kim Cattrall.
Figured out when I was straight.
Oh, dude, that for me, crush. You know. Love Kim Cattrall.
That's 2 of the Sex and the City's girls we've mentioned tonight so far. Let's see if we can get all of them.
No, we're not going to talk about Miranda. No, wait. Who's not? No, because Miranda is that's Kim Cattrall on the show. Whatever Cynthia Nixon, who on so many levels. But no. And then Kristen Davis, the other one. Why the fuck do I know their goddamn names? I've never. Man. I haven't seen the show. I watched it a couple times.
The show either, and I don't know their names.
You know what? I watched it back when it came out because I was 18. And the show's called Sex and the City, and I was thinking maybe there's something to draw off to. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it happened to me once back then too. I was like, oh no, this is really not what I was looking for.
Yeah, hold on. I thought this was a show about sex, not like the most annoying version of Seinfeld ever.
I thought it was going to be something like Red Shoe Diaries or something like that. You know?
Yeah, Solomon Zahn's Red Shoe Diaries, right? Or whatever that was. That was a softcore porn back in the day. But again, if I had to talk about a movie from the 80s that I would like to see remade, that's a tough one because they've remade a bunch from the 80s and they've done very bad jobs. Yep. And I the movies
someone who understands the movie that
I would hear. I'll tell you what I want. I know they've already remade it, but I Clash of the Titans, okay. Just update the visual effects. Keep the movie where it's at. Just update the visual effects. I love Clash of the Titans, man. The remake was the reboot, whatever you want to call it. That was fun. in 2010, but
it was dumb fun though.
It
Yo,
was dumb
Matt,
fun.
you just literally caused a movie night at my house because my roommate comes in. He's like, "You've never seen that? If you wait till I get off work tomorrow, I'll watch it with it. We'll all watch it together."
Dude, like, yeah, no, Big
So
Trouble.
I'm fucking watching it, man.
You have to tell me what you think about Big Trouble. Like I said, you are lucky that you get to go back and like watch it. You get to watch it for the first time. It'd be okay. Imagine just it's not as impactful as let's say like Empire Strikes Back.
Like so different.
But I'm just saying, it's like, you know,
No,
go
if
back.
if it's that big of a cult classic, I'm definitely gonna watch it, man.
Like, it's like, have you seen Princess Bride?
Yeah. My roommate talked me into watching it just a few years ago, and I loved it. That was another
You've
movie.
never fucking seen Princess Bride?
Wait.
Like, because he goes to Ren fairs and Comic Cons and stuff, and he always goes as the Dread Pirate.
Okay, yeah, Dread Pirate Roberts, yeah.
Robert, yeah, and so he bought the DVD, and I said, "Fuck, I'm gonna watch it one night," and I watched it, and I loved it, man. That was a few years ago.
Oh man, that movie is perfection.
Some
Flat
of those
out
movies
perfection.
just slip through the cracks with me, man. But I really like.
There's like,
also.
yeah, like, you know, you have some like some movies landed that like so they still like, so I don't know if I'd say some cultural impact, but like they landed in your brain, like, you know, Ridley Scott's Legend, right? Not the best movie.
No, but you remember it.
You remember it. Yeah, it's very iconic and everything else. There's another one from the late 90s or late 80s called The Land of Far Away. You guys ever see that one?
No.
It was like
some
this
pretty obscure ones like Crawl. You know, I've seen some obscure ones from like fantasy stuff. What was the one? Sword and the Sorcerer and Beastmaster, but I never seen.
No, Beastmaster was the shit.
Well,
I love Beastmaster. Yeah.
What's the movie called? The Far Away.
The Land of Far Away.
The Land of Far Away.
I remember watching it like on like cable TV when I was a kid a few times. It was very interesting. It had a very never-ending story type vibe to it, or maybe more never-ending story 2 versus the first one. Which here's a hot take. I prefer the never-ending story 2 than to the first movie.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take. That's a real hot take. That's a real.
Have you ever seen By the way, have you guys ever seen Never-Ending Story 3 with Jack Black and one of his first film roles? It's one of the
it is in the mall. Yeah,
it's one of the worst movies ever made.
Wow.
It's bad. I will say this though, Jack Black.
Funny is I just remembered The Outsiders from the 80s, and I
One of my favorite movies.
What was I saying? Akira. The movie Akira is basically just Outsiders.
Yeah.
The Japanese anime.
Yeah.
I watched your review of that. That was a good review, man.
If you watch it, I'm watching the movie. I'm just like, dude, Tetsuo is straight up Pony Boy. But The Outsiders is really fucking good. And it's not just like they tried to remake it a few years ago, but it's like you're not going to be able to get like Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze and Emilio Estevez.
Rob Lowe, Steve Thomas Howell. Dude, it was sad.
Yeah, Diane Lane. Fucking like 19-year-old Diane Lane.
Yeah, you're not ever going to have that again.
You're not going to get that.
Somebody, I think it was Anthony Cheeseman a little while ago said, I kind of like this idea. Weird science, but gender swapped. So like it's a couple of high school chicks that make a dude from computer or whatever the hell.
That would be fun. That would work.
Did that, Disney Channel did that kind of.
Well, fuck Disney.
They kind of with.
Well, I mean, but can you remake John Hughes? That's the thing. Could you ever really go back and do another Ferris Bueller or another Breakfast Club or Pretty?
Would you ever want to? I feel like a hurl of hatred you would get online for even trying.
Like you'd have better luck remaking Porky's.
It'd be Ghostbusters 2016 all over again.
It would 100%.
All three of those, Matt, and they're all still funny. They're all
Porky's.
Still funny.
They're fucking
they're
great,
all
dude.
Still funny.
I can't believe Porky's was only until recently the highest-grossing Canadian film ever made.
That's crazy.
Like, have you ever seen Porky's, Dane?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Like
that
fucking
was set in Florida. Really, that was Canada?
Yeah. Or I mean, they might have. It was a Canadian production, and
wait, what beat out Porky's? Then is the #1 Canadian production movie.
It was I think good. It was Bon Cop, Bad Cop, which is like that's a massive.
God, that was Kim Cattrall.
Yeah. She was the Howler.
Yeah,
she was the Howler in Porky's, dude. And listen. This is me being perverted, but you get full on Bush. So you do. You get full on early 80s Kim Cattrall, super black Bush. I don't know why. I always enjoyed it. I'd like that movie. Here's the thing with that movie. My stepdad, like, he might have fucked me up with that film because he was like explaining that movie to me when I was like 8. Because we're camping, we're hanging around the campfire, and he just goes like, "Hey Matt, you ever see a movie called Porky's?" I was like between 8 and 10 years old. I'm like, "No, what's that one?" He's like, "Oh man, it's so funny." So like he starts talking about like the egg trick with meat and like the looking through like at the naked girls and like the hole and everything else. Pee-wee, yeah, and meat and everything else. And it's just like I'm a kid, and I always remember like going, oh, this seems pretty funny. But he didn't go into like all the sex and nudity stuff. He just like talked about like some of the higher level, I don't want to say higher level, but some of the jokes in the movie. So it wasn't until a couple years later where I'm at like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster or whatever, and I see Porky's. I'm like, all right, I'll rent it. So I took it home and I put it in. I had no idea what I was in for. And I instantly fell in love with that movie. The sequel, like, remember the sequel where they're trying to find the porn film? They're trying to steal
yeah.
They're trying to expose the guys for why, like, because because in the second movie they come on in and they shut down Porky's because they don't want to have like any smut, right? They want a Puritan, like a good Christian Florida town sort of thing, right? So then they find out that like the mayor and all the other city councilmen are like they're hanging out watching smut movies,
stag films. That's what they
stag
call them.
films,
Stag
right?
films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually
an
an
idea.
idea.
They're nice to Miss Ballbreaker at the end.
They're
like, they're nice to her. They actually
oh my
give her
god!
her
Remember
old
the part
back. Yeah.
when she's trying to get the guy to show his dick?
Oh, that's the first one. When
the first
my
movie,
God. I know that's you, Tommy Turner. I know that's you.
You have a freckle on the head of your penis. It's dude. That scene is so fucking funny. Yeah, because the vice principal or the teacher or whatever, no, the gym teacher is trying to hold his cool. Or no, he's
trying not to laugh, and he's like, I know what we could do. We could have we could put up wanted posters all over the school.
It's so, oh my god, you guys. Sorry, we're way off topic here, dude. Fucking talking about
real quick, I think I have the perfect selection for 80s movie that deserves to be remade and wouldn't piss off anybody. Is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Okay, so in theory, I'm with you 100%.
Isn't that part of a trilogy, though?
No, it's not. It's a standalone film. But I'll tell you, Dane, right now, that end credit sequence, you can't top that. You can't
I haven't
top
seen it in a long time. So.
Oh, well, that's when like they're walking through the LA River, and they're doing like like they're showing off all the cast and stuff, right? So it's like, Peter Weller as Buckaroo Banzai, and you got Clancy Brown as part of the Hong Kong Cavaliers, Ellen Burstyn, John Lithgow. I mean, like, the movie is fucking bonkers weird, right?
It's such a Time Bandits. That director is weird.
Gilliam? Wait, Gilliam did fucking
Buckaroo
Banzai?
Buckaroo Banzai.
I don't think he
did Brazil.
Let's see.
That was,
Time
who directed
I don't know, man.
Buckaroo?
I always get those guys mixed up.
W.D. Richer had directed that one. Do you know what's funny though? Is I think Kevin Smith actually was working. He had pitched a Buckaroo Banzai reboot a number of years ago, and he was working on it for a while.
Man, that would have been fun to see, whether it was good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I love Buckaroo Banzai, but all I'm saying is like the end credit sequence of Buckaroo is great. And it's just like, I think Paul Reiser was even in it, if I recall. It's been a long time since I've seen Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, me too.
But the fact that it's called the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension is such a fucking... Oh, Jeff Goldblum's in it. It's Ellen Barkin, not Burstyn. Christopher Lloyd, Clancy Brown as in this movie.
Wow, that's a name.
Dan Hayeda is in it. Jonathan Banks is in it. Fucking who else? Carl Lumbly. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. There's who else might be in this one? Dude, the cast is really, really, really good. It's such a crazy ass fucking movie, but
Jonathan
it's like
Banks too, one of his first film roles.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the thing. It was very difficult to suggest movies to remake from the 80s and 90s because like a lot of them have like a soft place in our heart,
Yeah.
So it's like, what would be one where it's like it's a good concept that could be expanded upon? I think Last Starfighter is probably like the best answer. Maybe even like the original Scanners, but even in that front, that shit is fucking iconic, right? Like, maybe here's one. What about Maximum Overdrive?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh.
But I love Maximum Overdrive.
I like anything with vehicles, man. I'm a car guy.
But you know the story of Maximum Overdrive, right?
Stephen King was high on cocaine.
Yeah, well, he wrote it, he directed it, and he had worked with Dino De Laurentiis, like sold him a bunch of films to work on, in order to be able to get to the position to do something like Maximum Overdrive. And here's something really fucking funny, right? This is true. I was reading about this the other day. Yeardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, she was in Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah, she was also in Maximum Overdrive.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was the lady getting married, right?
Are you
So-
dead?
Yeah.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Are
That's
you
great.
dead? I remember
But-
that.
But here's the thing, though. So recently, she just got married to a southern. Was it a? It was a. I think a Eugene, Oregon detective. She had met while being up there for an event a couple years ago. But they were doing this interview about like how they met, and she went up there and she got a police detail, and that's where he first met her. But he didn't know her as Lisa Simpson because he doesn't watch The Simpsons. So he saw her and he was like, "Oh, you were in Legend of Billie Jean and Maximum Overdrive."
That's amazing.
So like,
But her most iconic role, nobody knows. Brian, happy birthday, Brian. Brian in the chat. Brian, happy birthday.
oh, happy birthday, man! Happy birthday. We got Brian's birthday. Also, just for the there's all Renee Espinoza, I think that's how you pronounce his name. His birthday was the other day. Happy birthday to him as well. He watches the replays and everything else. So there's a lot going on here, guys. We've had a fun one. Let me just kind of get to this last super chat here from Jeremy Gow. Thank you, buddy. Says, why not remake Pumpkinhead? Update the visuals, keep the creepiness. But who would replace Lance Henriksen? By the way, it's a great horror film. See, Pumpkinhead's a hard one, man.
Wait, Lance died?
No. Who would replace him? Because the guy's like 80.
Yeah, he's old as
Is
fuck
he really
though.
that? Bishop's that old? Yeah. I
Bishop
guess
is that
he would
old,
be.
yeah, man.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, like even Ian Holm passed away a couple years ago,
Yep.
right? And like, fuck, man.
Wait, isn't the director of Pumpkinhead like some? No, not the director of Pumpkinhead. Like I thought it was. Well, there was like a famous horror franchise that the director.
You're
got
thinking of
killed or
Jeepers
something.
Creepers.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers.
Dude,
Thank you. I got it.
And they just
yeah.
put out a new one, by the way. There's like Jeepers Creepers
Jeepers
Reborn or
Creepers
something,
Reborn.
and
Yeah.
apparently is getting
Wait,
tracked.
Stan Winston directed the original Pumpkinhead.
I don't know, but I know
Wow.
Pumpkinhead's part of the
Yeah,
Stan
he
Winston
directed
Big
the
Four. You've got the
original
T-800, the
Almost.
Alien, the Predator, and Pumpkinhead. That's the Stan
Yeah.
Winston Big Four. So I know he made Pumpkinhead. There'll never be another Stan Winston. Don't even at me. There will never be another. Stan Winston.
Hold on here. I see Rational had said remake Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop
what?
4 is being in production right now. What are you talking
Yeah, well, sure. No, Beverly Hills Cop 4 is going to be something. I'm looking forward to it in
Axel
some
F
level.
is what it's called.
Is what's it called? Axel F?
Yeah, that's the
Oh, that'd be
subtitle.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, but no.
Soleil Moon Frye was in freaking Pumpkinhead. What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pumpkinhead 2.
I had a big crush on her as a kid.
But I can't be.
Punky
Look,
Brewster,
Beverly
bro.
Hills
That's
Cop is one of the
Punky
greatest films of the
Brewster.
80s, right? I'm not alone on that, right?
What?
Say it again?
Beverly Hills Cop is one of the greatest films of the 80s.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It's
oh, yeah.
one of the greatest
I mean,
movies.
even Tony Scott knocked the sequel out of the park, even though it was super tonally different.
Yeah.
But like, and then the third one is
85 to
fucking weird, but it's
89
good.
Put out so many classics, so many. You got Top Gun, you got Beverly Hills Cop,
that
you
Will
got
Smith
Lethal
movie?
Weapon, like
That was-
like the '80s Predator, RoboCop. There are so many iconic movies from '85 to '89. You can't even touch them, man. Like they shouldn't even be messed with ever. They should
Yeah,
have their
well-
own library. in
Well,
Congress.
and here's Rational trolling again. Says for $2, thanks, man. Says Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Fuck you.
Donkey Shay, bro.
Yeah, Donkashay.
Over the top.
Darling Donkashay. I mean, you could. Oh, well, okay. You could do. Well, I don't know, man. Listen,
Listen,
can you
okay,
ever
here we go.
capture like
How many
top the
people are
moment
watching
of the
right now,
hat
Matt?
comment?
Hold on. Big confession. You've got let me see how many people you got watching. You're not.
We got
You've
123 people watching right now.
122. I'm about to. I cry every time I watch over the top.
Dude, it's emotional, man. That's a father-son story. It's fucking hits hard.
Every time, dude, I cry. I don't know why. It hits me, man.
Now a 90s movie.
That and Goonies, man. I don't know if it's because of me losing my brother or what, but when I watch those two movies, they give me they hit me, they like gut punch me with nostalgia. You don't have a movie like that that just throws that uppercut.
Oh, I got.
Oh, dude, Over the
I got
Top for some
several of 'em.
reason messes with me so bad. There, I just confessed how big a pussy I am. I gotta get a bottle of water. I'll be right back.
Oh man. Okay, I was wrong. About the Ernie Reyes and Chuck Norris. It's a guy named Gil Gerard, and it's a show called The Last Electric Night. That's what it was. I don't know why.
And Tony Scott was a great director of the 80s and 90s. Like,
oh yeah, dude. Tony Scott did a bunch of great shit, and even in the 90s and 2000s, he did some really good stuff.
yeah, like I think my favorite 90s Tony Scott movies, Enemy of the State. Like
Enemy of
That
the
was
State was
2000s.
great. No, Enemy of the State was like 97
1998.
Was it?
or 8,
Damn.
98. Yeah, that was
Wow.
when that shit dropped, I remember when an Enemy of the State dropped. That was big. Like, I mean, because not only did you have, is it Will Smith and Gene Hackman, but you had Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Regina King was in that as well. Oh no, Regina King, not Regina Hall. But Regina King was his wife in that one, and then Jason Lee was in the very beginning of it. John Voight was the bad guy in it. I mean, like there was Jack Black. I mean, like
that whole cast was just amazing.
So many good fucking people in that movie. And never mind, what about Jack Black working with Bruce Willis in 95's The Jackal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you remember that one? Like where he just gets his arm taken off by that 50 cal?
Right.
It's so fucked up.
Hey, let me ask you something. Let me ask you guys something. Who would play Tango and Cash in a remake?
Tango, okay. That was the Kurt Russell. Which one was Kurt Russell on that one? I forget. It's
They're both Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. They're cops. They get framed.
Yeah, I know, but which one was Tango? Which one was Cash?
And Stallone was Sylvester was Tango.
Okay, so Tango was a straight man, and then you had the wild card was Cash.
You always do that. Why do you always do that? You know what?
What?
You know what?
What?
Well, so just because it's a buddy cop movie, there's got to be a top and a bottom. Is that
no? That's the terminology. That's the terminology. It's in comedy. There's always the wild. Let's say, look at Lethal Weapon. Right? Is Danny Glover is a straight man, and the wild card is Mel Gibson. That's the dynamic. It's just you need the wacky person to then to be the straight man is the audience's POV, and we're meant to react to what we're seeing through the eyes of the straight man. Like it's not like a sexual thing. It's like that's just a character.
What's her name was in that,
so if we're
wasn't
gonna do
she?
a gender swapped one, I think Casey Walsh is the best.
Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, Terry Hatcher. They're real and they're fabulous. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy from 2013?
Oh no.
Because that is a Paul Feig movie, by the way. It's god awful and it makes you want to die. But that movie is subversive. Which one?
Paul Feig just needs to stop.
Well, he's got a new one. He's got a new one for Netflix coming October. They just released the poster for it yesterday. It's
right.
The School of Good and Evil.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
That came out. It wasn't
I'll watch it. Like I'll fuck care. Like I'll check it out, But it's like it ain't Ghostbusters. It ain't a franchise I care about, so I'm fine with it. Plus, dude, I like Spy was good.
Last Christmas with Emily Clark and Henry Golding.
Oh, you meant straight edge guy, like
not straight as in like a guy that
Don't act like you don't do shit like that though, man.
I don't do shit like that. If I'm gonna no, I mean, no, I don't have a reason.
Make something dirty. Matt can make anything dirty.
Listen, I mean, you're not wrong. To be fair, all right. Let's see. Hold on. Would I remake Full Metal Jacket or the 1998 film Soldier, dude?
Soldier,
and then have it actually tie into Blade Runner because it's technically.
I was about to say,
it's technically, and I like fucking Soldier too. That was a good movie.
It was dumb fun.
It's dumb late 90s sci-fi and shit.
Somebody said Samara Weaving and Margot Robbie as Tango and Cash. That might work.
They look too similar.
I mean,
I'd probably get confused from the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say if we're gonna do Tango and Cash, I feel like it would probably be The Rock and Kevin Hart, if I'm being honest with you. The Rock would be Tango.
Yep.
And Kevin Hart would be Cash.
Pull that off and make a ton of money off a movie
and
like
they
that.
would probably do it. But
don't give them ideas, Matt. Don't give them ideas.
I mean,
they could pay me
not for free.
I think Anthony Cheeseman and Casey Walsh said it as best for a gender swapped Tango and Cash is either Tiffany Haddish and Kiki Lane or Samara Weaving and Margot Robbie.
Or
please, can we finally just acknowledge Tiffany Haddish sucks? Can we finally I don't like actors that just continuously play themselves in every little thing and then get shoved down the audience's throat because they're hot for a minute. It's like that is Tiffany Haddish in a nutshell. Like Girls Trip to Now, same character every movie. Am I wrong?
No.
You're not wrong, but you're not right.
Lego Movie 2. Angry Birds Movie 2.
Did you watch
Secret Life of Pets 2? She's in these sequels. Plays herself in every movie. What other one? Sorry.
After Party it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, but that's a TV show. I'll give that a watch. Well, plus I heard she was good in that last Nick Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah,
So,
I heard she's good at that too.
yeah, I need to watch that still. I can't believe I haven't seen that yet, but I need to watch it. It's on my list of things to watch. Anyway, we need to get on with everything tonight because there's a lot to talk about still. We did get yeah, we're now. Well, hey, it's been a good convo. If you guys are having fun, slap the like. Tickle it
Ryan
a little bit
Landis,
too.
that's my favorite comment of the night. No shit. Peter Dinklage as new Snake Plissken in Escape from New York.
Oh man, but set in Vietnam.
That's fucking awesome.
Just call it Tunnel Rats.
There you go.
I know how to get out. I know how to get in because I've already gotten out. It's basically The Rock, but Vietnam. How about that? Right? Because the Rock is kind of escaped from New York. But
I would actually watch it. I'd be upset though, but I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. I watch anything.
But
with
I
Peter
heard his
Dinklage in
son's
it.
gonna do it. I heard Kurt's son is gonna do it.
No, look, if you want to give Wyatt Russell the chance at being Snake Plissken for like whatever, yeah, by all means. But don't do a reboot. Like just continue it with him as a character. You know, like just go.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back and like, you know, because there was rumored to be.
Or a prequel, Matt, to find out why he was wanted in the first place. All the crazy shit he did, like Cleveland. What happened in Cleveland? You know what I mean? Like, do that. Yeah, that would be great.
I'd be okay with that because again, yeah, fucking Escape from New York is one of the best '80s films. L.A. is a fun one. I still love the fact that Bruce Campbell played the Surgeon General of Los Angeles. That was a great cameo.
The surfing part is so cringe, though.
It's so bad, but like even Steve Buscemi popping up in the movie. It's like Pam Grier in the movie. Oh my
God, Peter Fonda.
Oh yeah, that's right,
you know
man.
I mean? Like it's stacked. It's a great movie. I would watch a prequel because we never know why Snake was wanted or was going to get. You know what I mean? He was some war hero that turned bad. He went all rebel on him. He went all Rebel Alliance. We don't really know the story. John Carpenter never told us. You know, I like to pretend that after all of it happened, he went to Mars and like maybe later we'll get a Ghost of Mars sequel with Kurt Russell.
Well, that was the rumor. The rumor was that he was supposed to be.
Snake Plissken on Mars would be dope. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Oh wow. I guess the reviews of Prey are coming out, and so far they're pretty good. But we can talk about that in a little bit. Although, by the way, this Jordan Mason seat here, I watched it 4 out of 5 times. My screener allowed me access to. Fuck you, man. I want to watch Prey
I'm sorry,
real
I didn't
bad.
mean to come in and derail the stream with a
No. It's all good. It's all good. It's always good to have a good hour-long discussion as a primer.
Yeah, well, that's why I come on here. Like the most fun shit whenever I'm on here is whenever I'm watching is when you talk about like the old stuff. I just love that shit, you know, talking about.
Oh yeah, no, it's always good to have you know, topics, but it's all, I think just kind of going and doing whatever is fine on your own as well. But all right, why don't we get into the I guess we could say the big news of the day, right?
It is. It's big news.
My tweet that broke the world.
Well, I mean, no. See, RJ, before. Oh, by the way, Isaac
we
here gave
buried the
$5.
lead, Matt.
I always bury the lead, Chris. I always bury the lead. I always bury the lead. But you know what though? The audience retention on this is usually around 30 minutes. So people watch. They might skip through
they
it,
love that shit.
but they watch.
Yeah.
So you know what? Hollywood After Dark actually gets a pretty decent amount of gets a post love. Which is why for the archive of this, it's I'll just post it in the chat. It's the youtube.com Hollywood After Dark. It's its own channel, but it's an archive channel. So there's that. But anyway, no, RJ, I know your tweet broke the internet, but there was something that predated your tweet that actually I think really needs to be talked about.
Oh, really? What happened?
And it's in relation to what happened today, but it's important. And so for breaking news, Hollywood After Dark exclusive. Warner Brothers Discovery to announce Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2, written by Mikey Sutton.
Wait, what?
Oh my
This actually
God.
happened yesterday?
This really happened.
This article dropped late last night.
Amazing.
Late last night, this article dropped because I was laying in bed. I was.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I could bring it up. I was watching Angel Has Fallen because I finally completed out that franchise. And by the way, those movies are fucking fun. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, they're fun. I like Gerard Butler a lot.
Slightly racist in the second movie. Like he gets a little on the nose with the xenophobia in the second movie. There's a couple lines of dialogue where I'm like, oof.
The London one,
yeah. Yeah, like, ooh, did you? Ooh, man. You know, like you pulled up that old 4chan meme of like Rome 2,000 years ago, Africa today, and you're like, ooh, man, no, that's bad. He gets a little racist in that movie. but not so much in the third one. Have you seen those, Dane? Have you ever watched those movies? The Has Fallen franchise?
Yeah, we talked about it on Twitter a little bit.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. I mean, I want to see more of them because
I haven't seen the new one though.
They're they're like a throwback to like 90s action, but with like
really
more modern action and effects and stuff.
I mean, well, like you can tell that it's CG, but like, dude, that third movie when he's like, oh, I got concussions, I need more pain pills, and then at the end of it, like he uses a guy to shield him from a grenade blast, and it just rockets him up into like the ceiling, and he's like, okay, I'm fine now. After being shot twice, I'll go fight the bad guy.
Yeah,
Like,
they're good movies. They're fun.
Amazing.
They are.
They're great. I like it when he takes on the militia, and it's just
They
like
got a Die Hard feel to them, don't they? They got
Well,
like
that
a
was a-
Die Hard feel.
Well, that was the thing. So the first movie was basically Die Hard in the White House. I mean, like even point for point, like
Yeah, no, really,
beat.
it was hiding.
It really
events,
was.
everything. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
was.
it was very much on point with that. And then you had the second movie is more of a buddy cop. I would argue that the second movie is more akin to White House Down, which also came out in 2013. If you guys
that
ever
was
remember,
the Jamie Foxx one.
that was the Jamie Foxx one.
Yeah,
That came out in the summer of 2013. Olympus Has Fallen came out in the fall. But it was like, I kind of felt like the second movie kind of echoed a bit more of that one, only because like, you know, Aaron Eckhart and Gerard Butler like team up in that one. And then the third one feels like The Fugitive. If I'm being honest with you, like all the shit in the forest, it felt like The Fugitive.
Oh yeah, and being on the boat when it happened.
Yeah,
that's a great
it had
movie.
that
That's a great
vibe
movie.
to it. Yeah. So, and I was like, all right, I can dig this. I can dig the vibe they're going for here. I have some problems with all three movies. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what, man, I would totally watch these again. I had a blast watching Olympus Has Fallen again. So, you know, there's good stuff there. But anyway, let's talk about Man of Steel 2, apparently, allegedly. So we don't know. So this came up. This actually popped up, like, look at the date there, July 21st, which is today. And it went up late last night. This, of course, is after there was that Henry Cavill, you know, maybe coming to the Hall H.
And the
Or maybe
Zach Vero post, which they lost their minds over.
Oh, yeah. If did you see that Zach Vero post there, Dane?
Yes, I did. I posted about it.
Yeah, like, I mean...
Oh, that one. No, I didn't see that.
This was
Oh my
in
God,
response to everything.
They said that because of this, they went batshit. So we all had to delete our tweets, our Twitters, our YouTube, because the Snyderverse is restored. He's coming in tomorrow.
They said it was a confirmation. Like that was the confirmation.
Crazy. It was crazy. It was like watching some QAnon shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at RJ's replies right now on that tweet that blew up, and man, just the kind of mental gymnastics some of these people are doing. They're like, people are posting pictures of when Andrew Garfield was like, "I'm not in Spider-Man No Way Home," and it's like, man, they're legit thinking that this is all just like playing the game so they can drop a surprise on them or something.
Like Matt, I knew they took this stuff personal. Like I knew, but I did not know that these people had their entire identities wrapped up in this Zack Snyder stuff, that it defines who they are as a person.
Yeah.
I did not know that. They shit on Ashley for like 20 minutes just because her and RJ did the Rolling Stone article and said, yeah, you know, this is kind of messed up. This could be bad for, you know, any kind of stuff that's going to happen later on the Snyderverse. And they just like ripped into her, man. These are some real assholes, man. They're not all there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. You're familiar with Zod Rider, right?
Absolutely. I can't stand him.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's writing a book.
Oh, I saw it. I saw your cover of the book. Too.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
brilliant.
Okay.
It's brilliant.
I was gonna do the setup to lead into the.
No, who you think sent it to me? When Ashley saw it, she lost her shit and sent it to me.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I keep this on point. He finally blocked me after this. He finally blocked me on Twitter after this.
You know the best part of that isn't even the Zaddy. It's the restore.
That's the first part that gets you, but then at the last thing you read is also equally as good. And I found a father. Goddamn, dude, that's just cutting deep right there.
The Zaddy jokes, bro, Matt.
I mean, I like to laugh, right? You have to eat, pray, love, right? All that shit. But it's funny to laugh at people who just take this crap way too seriously and make all this crap up. But anyway, so this is what Mikey had said last night. Obviously, you know, this is what's going on. Saying here, Warner Brothers Discovery will announce Henry Cavill's return as Superman and Man of Steel 2, according to sources. Mm-hmm. All right. Per deadline, Henry Cavill is expected to appear at Comic-Con this weekend.
Oh, that's interesting how he does that. How he says according to sources, and then starts the next sentence with per deadline.
Yeah.
It kind of almost seems like he's citing Deadline as a source, even though obviously he's not.
It's meant to look that way, doesn't it? It's very
yeah, a little bit.
worded
Yeah,
that way.
But the funny thing is that Deadline never said that. Like
they
it's
said
just
that they
a
heard
word that they
buzz.
heard. It's like, oh, like he might appear. It's not like he's expected.
Yeah, they said there's buzz that he could appear.
Yeah, anybody watching, I want to let you know that I used to work for a geek website, and just like it's so easy to make one of these websites, and you can just say whatever you want to. So like, I just want everybody to be aware of that. You should be by now.
And
but
there's always a
some
dumb
people
group of sheep out there that will believe it.
Yep.
And they'll pay good money to believe it too. You know, that's the crazy thing.
Wait, really? Is Mikey behind a paywall?
No, but if you actually, I'm you know, when I bring this kind of stuff up, I like to use uBlock just to make sure that it doesn't get bogged down with ads. For the sake of presentation. And dude, if I were to turn it off here, I'll just turn it off for this. I mean, look, I know I do like ads with other stuff, but it's kind of like, let's turn this off. All right, and then refresh the page. Look at this.
Wow.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Look at this here.
Like ads after ads after ads.
And it try reading an Geekosity article on mobile, and your phone just starts to bog down.
Oh, not even that. It'll load up pop-ups to like scam websites.
Yeah,
like phishing things. That's like, crazy. Download this app.
So I mean, you can just see him like, look at all this right here. It's just, so many fucking ads, dude. So many fucking ads. So you have to do it. It's not to say that like it's something that's great, but you have to fucking do it.
Moisture, turn off that pesky ad block.
Hey man, that was a big meme back 8 years ago. But anyway, but you and then he mentions the Deadline article.
642 shares. That's
a lot. That went up. Well, again, if you guys saw, it was 70, and then it jumped up to 642. So people I don't know where they're sharing it, but again, like that's a big one.
It's that
but
Facebook group.
Yeah, well, that's not even that big. At least it wasn't before I left. But this is the segment here. I just kind of highlighted it.
That's what Deadline said.
Deadline just says Dwayne Johnson and the Warner Brothers theatrical session will serve as Marvel's opening act. With Black Adam and Shazam: Fear of the Gods getting their much-deserved close-ups in Hall H. There's also buzz that Henry Cavill will put in a surprise appearance to talk up more Superman, and that's it. That's it.
There's
that's not
also
confirmation.
Buzz that Henry Cavill is set to appear. It doesn't say expected.
Yeah, what says is expected to appear. I know, right? So it's definitely facetious, as we've learned over the years, over the time of covering Mikey. It says here, on April 11th, 2021, I scooped that Henry Cavill's Superman could cameo in Black Adam. Since then, I've never wavered that Cavill will return. As other media outlets raged online with doom and gloom about Cavill's chances, sources told me to stay calm.
Stay calm.
And this is all during the merger stuff, right? And then it says on July 1st, The Rock teased Cavill's appearance in Black Adam, and yet the naysayers brushed it off. They claimed The Rock meant Superman in general. I mean, that was, what was this one again? This was just recently too. This was
tease with the little when someone tweeted the Black Adam versus Superman logos, and then he quote tweeted it with something like fans. I never disappoint fans or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hold on, I got the screenshot right here. But basically, he just made sure, because again, it was hyping up because The Rock is a hype man. We've learned this, right? So from back in the day when I was wrestling in flea markets for $40 a match, all the way to now, I've learned to always listen to the audience because they will always lead you to where you need to go. I hear you, and I've always got you. Obviously, it's like it hints at it, but it's not actually saying anything. So again, and that's what The Rock does. We watched that clip from The Rock last night, right?
Yeah.
It's only 20 seconds. I got it right here, but
Is there any sneak peek, any tidbit secret about the film that you could share with us?
Let's see. I can tell you that we are working on something that we're working on something I think that the world will really respond to.
Oh my God!
I'll just say that. I know.
I mean, it's teeing it up.
Yeah, I mean that's not much, but it's like
he literally said nothing, but he said it very charismatically.
Yeah, and that's all. Well, that's the thing. If people find you to be charismatic, they'll listen to anything you have to say. And it's true, right? Like you can bullshit anybody if you're good enough. And again, a businessman who's got an award-winning smile and knows how. And all he said was, "Whoa, we're working on something." And then her job as a host is to hype it up, right? Like that's the other part of that as well. So it becomes this social dynamic of like, it's a wingman. She's acting as a wingman. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like, look at Jimmy Fallon. He's like the world's biggest useful idiot.
Yep.
When it comes to this stuff. And it's
like when he like played with Trump's hair on live TV to hype him up. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and and a lot of people, and I said right there, I think when that happened, I even said, this is what Trump is going to win. And people are like, he's not going to, like, nah, that right there humanized him enough to the general audience that they're going to think that he's harmless. You know? Anyway. Anyone here watch the primetime hearing tonight? Good shit.
I did, yeah.
We'll have to talk about that a little later, but it's definitely, that's what I was watching. All right. And then, sorry, I know. Where am I at? All right. So going on to say here, so he scooped it.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on,
I know.
man.
Come on, man. Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Now, The Rock knows that any other actor besides Cavill in the Superman suit would enrage the fandom. Anonymous Superman has no impact. The Rock tweeted, and we know what he's saying there. And the thing is, Mikey's not wrong on that statement. Like, Superman has to mean something. And it can't be, if it's Tyler Hoechlin, that would go over terribly, in my opinion.
It would be interesting if it is Tyler. Like, it won't be like the worst thing ever.
Can I give a hot take?
Yeah.
I've never watched that show. I've heard that it's good and everything. But when I look at that dude, he just does not look like Superman to me. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of thought that at first as well. Like his suit was a little bit weird. He kind of looked like, I'm always kind of reminded of Master of Disguises? Turtle. Like that's kind of the vibe I got out of that. Because like of the over padding, and then, but I think they've retooled.
I'm talking about his face.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's just my hot take.
But apparently he's done well on the show. From my understanding, he's done well. People who
I've
watched
heard
it
nothing
told me
but
good
good
things.
stuff from it.
Yeah, so there's that here. And then, okay, going on here to say, granted, Deadline didn't confirm. Okay, well, anyway, sorry. It's not just about The Rock's Black Adam versus Superman. Hell no. He meant Cavill's Man of Steel. Anything less would be a massive letdown. And that's just, inference of his own opinion. The Rock and Cavill share the same agent, Danny Garcia. She is The Rock's ex-wife. The clues are in plain sight. But as I mentioned in my little TikTok yesterday on the subject, the last time it was reported in 2018, almost 4 years ago, that Cavill was out of the role. And Danny Garcia, because we did talk about it here on the show a while back, but Garcia was like, oh no, there's going to be a statement soon. She was trying to douse out the flames. And guess what never happened? Never materialized. A statement from any party. From any party. And Cavill has never spoken about the situation. He's just been asked, would you return? And he's like, absolutely. Right. But every actor is going to say that, right. They'll say like, oh, absolutely. Give me a script, put me in the role, tag me. I'm ready to go, chief, that kind of stuff. Because they understand that, they don't want to turn down a job or,
you can't shut the door in their face like that.
Yeah. But it's like at the same time, 4 years, no statement. And even going further, Cavill doesn't talk about Superman on his Instagram. That's telling because he uses that as a promotional tool because he doesn't really use Twitter, but he's pretty active on Instagram, and he only really talks about like The Witcher and other things he's working on. So he, again, it's kind of like if you read the room and what's being presented, you do get a particular idea. Then it does say, granted, Deadline didn't confirm. To be honest, I didn't think Cavill would be at SDCC for a couple reasons. First, I was skeptical that Warner Brothers Discovery would spoil Cavill's post-credit scene in Black Adam. Now, I agree with him there, but this is what I've been trying to say since yesterday, and nobody wants to believe me. I'm all like, Cavill showing up would take attention from The Rock.
Yeah,
and you don't take attention from The Rock.
The Rock ain't having that. Yeah.
No.
So that's a big factor right there. Hondo here. Here's a tip for being copyright struck. Thanks, buddy. The stream should be back up now. It should be. I'm hoping. If we'll figure it out if not. But yeah, so The Rock is obviously on that part. But anyway, finishing up here, he says, on the other hand, Cavill's cameo in Black Adam generates more excitement for the movie. Undoubtedly, it will sell more tickets. The Rock and Warner Brothers will love the sound of falling coins. In fact, let's cue Pink Floyd now. In all honesty, DC Films panel SDCC didn't seem exciting. Certainly more footage of the Justice Society and Black Adam sounds thrilling. On the contrary, Shazam doesn't raise the temperature. Cavill Superman, though. In contrast, Cavill would bring the house down. But again, that's taking way too much from that.
Sounds
But then,
like a bunch of made up shit.
it sounds like wishful thinking. Like, look at this. Then here, the day before, Zack Snyder teased a Hall H appearance at SDCC, and all that was talking about this right here. This is teasing.
How does he justify that as teasing? By the way, I want to see how he justifies it.
Because Syl justifies it, right? If you look at Syl's Twitter, wasn't like somebody, he'll kind of like he'll play it up like maybe from what I've seen. And that's what it is. They just play up this hype.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're downplaying this Jim Lee thing too. Syl's now going on Twitter saying Jim Lee doesn't run DC films.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I
it
know.
doesn't matter.
Oh, I know. Oh, absolutely. They have to do that. They absolutely have to do that shit, right? Because they know at this point they're very much in the position of being totally fucked with. But that's where we see this particular. This was earlier today, and then of course, like I'm like, okay, like the way I viewed it was like, all right, well now we just have to wait till Saturday morning at like by 11:15 or 11:30 in the morning. If nothing has happened, we know then. And I even told my girlfriend tonight, I said, listen, Saturday morning from 10 until like 11:30, I will be live streaming. Do not disturb me. Like take the kids and go. Cause this is going to be a nail biting experience. Cause we none of us know what's going to happen.
Nope.
So
anything could happen.
Anything could absolutely happen. However, we got this, and this was unexpected, very unexpected. So play the clip.
Would be drawing the boards for those, or if they've asked you, or if.
Oh, come on, Twitter.
Do you need me to do it?
No, it's fine.
What's
God damn it, Caden! Just
What's going on?
I have no clue.
I just shared it in the dashboard.
Dane's got the actual clip.
Okay, go ahead.
Would be drawing the boards for those, or if they've asked you, or if they would ask you, would you?
What's amazing is that we spent 2 years in lockdown, and here we are back at a convention, celebrating the art form, feeling good. I work on the projects that are in development, right? And so, I think the Snyder Cut was Zach's vision realized, and it was a really satisfying, story told. But there's no plans for additional work on that material. So I was happy to help contribute to the pitch for the other stuff. And it was kind of fun to actually see that stuff get out there, because I did that years ago, and I actually thought it had been erased, but they had kept it in storage. Right?
Also, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's
funny, because like you have new geeks saying that
Leon and the new geeks, yeah.
To be fair, the guy asked Jim Lee if he'd continue with the plan from the old storyboards. Jim Lee responded, there are no plans for additional work on the material. Zack Snyder already said if he returns, he has new plans. No, that's not true. The guy asked, is there any plans to continue what Zack started? Or like in that sense.
Yeah, and if there are, you're going to storyboard it.
He said that I work on every DC project in development, and there is no activity on the future stuff for Zack right now. No new material to work on right now.
And again, if anybody knows what's going on with DC Films, it's Jim Lee. He's heavily involved.
Yeah, he's the head of the DC Comics, who he took Jeff Johns' old job.
So I saw somebody trying to argue in RJ's replies that they showed us.
We can look at them.
Bring up the. There you go.
There's like a screen cap of just a few months before the Snyder Cut was announced for HBO Max, and Jim Lee was at a convention and said, that's not going to happen, basically, or whatever.
Look at this guy. Mandy, now can we officially move on? No.
Well, are you talking about the Fan Expo 2020 where Jim Lee finally mentioned DCEU? The thing is, though, is at that point, the discussions for the Snyder Cut were already happening. They were already well into happening. And so he was able to share a little bit of excitement, which got the people really like pumped up for that.
Whoa, look at this. And there you have it. Moving on.
Well,
No,
I think
we're not
the
moving
main
on.
thing to take from that that Jim Lee clip today is not the part where he says that there's no plans to move forward. Like, okay, you want to give benefit of the doubt that maybe that could be just, you know, production teasing or something like that. It's everything he said around it about, you know, like he's glad that all the other stuff wasn't erased and that they're moving forward with that and everything. Like it's all the context around him saying, no, we're not doing anything with that material. That I think is really what's telling, because it's just way too detailed, and he seemed way more interested in talking about that part of it, like the we're moving on part of it. You know what I mean?
Well, they just announced.
You got to work on it, yeah.
Yeah, well, they did just announce today. Also, let me bring it up here. God damn it, I really.
What is this?
Oops.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes.
All this back and forth about the Snyder thing, what I don't think, the other side wants to believe out of us is that, look, I don't think anything's going to happen with the Snyder Cut, but if it did, Matt, that is an L I would happily take.
Oh yeah. People think that.
I want those movies. I just don't think we're getting them. I would take that L.
That was kind of the thing though, is like people think like, oh, I would have to delete my Twitter and my YouTube. I got a whole bunch of comments on that yesterday. I'm like, why would I leave? Why would I go anywhere?
Really? Well, you guys sound stupid when you say that.
It really, it tells how like kind of how fucking deranged they are, because they think this is legitimately just like a pro Snyder, anti Snyder thing.
Yeah, it's a hive mentality over there. It's tribalism at the purest core. Like, it blows my mind. Like, they're antis, and why would Max surround himself with all these anti? Look, man, you could be friends with somebody that doesn't agree. You think me and Matt agree on politics? We don't, but we're still cool.
That's what I don't get too. It's like they're so very narrow minded. It's either you're with us or against us, and you're against us, and you don't get to sit.
Like I said earlier, those group of people are so detached from the rest of the fandom, where you have, the response to Zach's Vera post is completely different, where you have Nerd Queens, TPZ, Dave Pena, they're all like, like, ha ha ha, this is funny. Zach says a troll. While you have Zod,
they all said it was a troll, but then you have
Zod,
Syl, and all
Syl,
that.
Zod, Skywalker, El Necron, New Geeks. And they're all like, oh my god, it's happening. Like, no, it's a troll post from Zach making fun of the whole situation.
Well, look at this real quick. Reminder, while the Snyderverse says it never will be restored, Jim has been teasing a Crisis movie with his artwork for years, and the Flash test screening leaks say the post-credits scene sees Batman in the Nightmare. So he's trying to argue they're going to do a Crisis movie.
Well, and it's here's the thing with that, actually, right? Check this out. So this also happened today. DC has announced that they're currently releasing Dark Crisis event, renamed to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths from issue 4 onward, acting as a direct sequel to the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. Future reprints of Dark Crisis issues will be under the new name. And so, what does that mean? Oh, well, yeah, they've been hinting at the Crisis. Now they're doing a sequel to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. That is what they're going for.
Like the 6th sequel, though.
Yeah,
I see what your point. They're trying. It makes sense that they're trying to do some synergy, right? Where they're like, let's get some this name recognition back out there because something's about to happen, right?
Yeah. Who is that in the black cloak, though?
I don't know.
Like that gauntlet and that.
Well, so that's the Anti-Monitor's head.
Yeah, that's the Anti-Monitor's head. I'm just like,
I don't know.
It's Zack Snyder.
Oh my god. But like, this is my favorite response. The one that I'm sharing right now, of this whole thing, is this guy on
the Time Stopper.
Oh, is it the Time Stopper? Okay, but it's not on the Jim Lee post, but it's on one of.
Are you talking your page, Caden, that you have up? Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta let me know, man. Like.
Oh, sorry.
What is this?
It says the Colts. Zach is coming to DC. He's definitely going to announce the Snyderverse. No one can stop it. And
Oh,
it's just like you have.
Watch
It's
this.
like Jim Lee's like, watch this, guys. Like, look at. This.
I wanted to go through the quote tweets real quick and see what. Cause I actually should look at this.
Yeah. Let's look at the quote tweets. Those are pretty good.
Okay, so yeah, that does look like the Time Trapper, actually.
Because a lot of people picked up on this, so I'm trying to see. Hold on. So
Rip Bozo.
Rip in peace, Bozo. No Snyder, no DCU.
Oh. Just wait.
It's like.
Wait.
But that's my question, though.
Holy,
if they announce
that's Jay Washington.
Who?
That's Jay Washington. He used to work for Collider. He said, "Wahaha, we know that group of associate producers are probably crying their hearts out. They're not trying to QAnon their way around it, going, why wouldn't actually tell us LMAO, the shit is dead and done, may arrest and trash." Damn. That guy's got 12. What the hell? That's wild.
What's crazy is that, like, you know, like we've seen them in your chat, and I've gotten a couple on my videos too, Matt, where they're like, oh, well, you know, MCU is failing or whatever. And it's like, have you looked at the box office for pretty much everything MCU? Yeah. And then they like, and are you saying that Snyder's movies did great at the box office? Because they didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, Man of Steel did. Man of Steel actually did. Well, no, because even before the movie had came out, the movie had made $100 million.
It's Movie Bob. Movie Bob saw my tweet. What the hell?
Movie Bob has seen my tweets before.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh my God, no way."
He likes to retweet me for some reason.
Yeah, dude, you got to stop that.
What's really
funny?
Bad. What's really funny? A lot of the quote tweets are saying that it's like this is a good thing. They're happy about this.
Well, because the majority of DC
like
comic fans,
they're happy that the Snyderverse fans are losing.
Well, and the thing is, it's not. I don't even know if it's because of the movie, of the quality of films in their eyes.
No, a lot of people are saying they're glad that the fans aren't going to get it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like because again, you know, the noise from the fandom over the course of the past year and some change has been, or 2 years, really has been. Oh my God, please stop. Please, for the love of God,
if it was just like, if the fandom was separate from it, right? If it was just the movies and that's all we're talking about, then I would be like, man, that kind of sucks. Yeah, I'd kind of like to see where it goes, kind of thing. But because it's gotten swallowed by the fucking fandom and the reaction and the, you know, just the interaction with the fandom itself, it's not even worth it to even want more anymore. Honestly, like I'm fine. I'm ready to move on. We got, you know, I like the Snyder Cut. I like Man of Steel for the most part. I can give or take Batman or Batman versus Superman.
This guy replied to Geralt with my thing. Henry Cavill plus Zack Snyder plus Man of Steel 2 now equals unprecedented hype.
But it's not real. I mean, like, it's just not, you know, but that's the problem though, is like so many of these guys. And again, so let's kind of talk about the psychology real quick of that 13 to 17% of bot army, because that's a real factor when discussing the influence of 87% of real people.
Exactly. That's what I keep trying to tell people. They're like, it's just 13% bots. It's like that's not that doesn't quantify the effect of those 13% bots, right? Like there's a big fucking effect that those are going to have.
Well, what was the original number?
Well, okay. So what they were saying in these reports is that in any given like online hashtag or whatever, what you're going to see is approximately 3 to 5% in bots. That's like the standard, you know, for paying for engagement or paying for boosting.
And the Snyder stuff was like
had about 13 to 17%.
But what was the actual numbers on like people? How many people? Because
they didn't say. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Is like we don't know, and that information wasn't provided. And I've seen, like, you know, there's been other because you can't really track it down. Like Twitter would have to release the data. But the thing is, I mean, listen, for all of Elon Musk's faults, if he were to buy Twitter and like just get rid of the API or keep it really locked down, like what YouTube has done, it will be better for that kind of shit. Like a lot of that stuff will stop, and that's actually for the best. But I don't think he wants to do that anymore.
Well, do you remember the statistics from about 3 or 4 years ago? That girl comedian who's got her own, I really enjoyed her, Whitney Cummings. She did a study and was reading and got a bunch of information. And she said that the study is that 80% of Twitter traffic is caused by 20% of the people on Twitter.
That's weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's some pretty wild numbers when you look at it. Yeah,
That sounds
it's pretty
unrealistic,
surprising.
man.
It really does kind of paint the picture of how like inorganic a lot of this conversations and the discourse is because of just the small number of people that are influencing shit. And it just becomes what everybody talks about, even outside of Twitter. You know what I mean?
Well, we saw it happen in real time at the Oscars. You know, they spam. You know what I mean?
You guys want to have a laugh and read this shit? Our movie news: Henry Cavill x Zack Snyder x virtual announcements x San Diego Comic-Con # for Snyderverse. Jesse White, people shit on a lot. I see Cavill returning. Snyder isn't. Zod, you need new glasses. # Snyderverse restored. You need to wake up to reality. All right, we can revisit this after the weekend. Fair enough. You really think he's going to respond if Snyder does not show up? Cavill, I think, could, but he is saying Snyderverse will be restored. Look, Snyder doesn't lie or troll the fan base. He literally is saying he will be at Hall H. If he is there, it means Snyderverse restored. I don't understand how anybody who has followed Snyder since the early days of release Snyder could be so.
Can I say something about that tweet? How just I don't. Oh, don't get triggered, Chris. Don't get triggered.
No, get triggered.
That is the dumbest fucking shit, man. I've heard. Listen, Zack Snyder is not going to go to Comic-Con while he's working on this like Moonwalker movie or whatever the fuck he's doing. He's going to plug that. Why would he not plug the movie he's working on? That's like if I'm like in a band like Slipknot or something, and I come to Comic-Con and I'm trying to plug the next album while I'm working on this album. That just doesn't make any sense to me, man.
Well, I mean, Jarbo, do you know offhand like how what is his contract with Netflix? Like a certain amount of movies a year?
Well,
2-year exclusivity deal.
It's it has a 2-year exclusivity deal. But we know
first look.
Yeah,
So
and we know that
and the last 3 years were like he can like look at first look. So like any pitch he has, it goes straight to Netflix.
Yeah, and they'll probably do it if they want to. I mean, they're already like he has the 2-year exclusive deal, and then after that, I haven't heard of the 3-year first look, but that does seem to make some sense.
If this guy shows up at Comic-Con, which is like the biggest, like, hey, let's plug my shit this year for nerd culture. He shows up. Zack Snyder shows up, and that automatically means it's about some DC shit. You guys got to get it through your fucking heads. Zack Snyder does not own the IP for these characters, man, and he's working on Rebel Moon right now. It just sounds these people.
My question is why is
Zod?
My question is why is Zod even openly talking to this guy if he knows he's? I don't know. Anyway, he blatantly exited the fan base. Last time Zach did anything like this, we got the Snyder Cut. Because people forget history. You're setting yourself up for some massive disappointment. Maybe but people said the same thing that before the Snyder Cut was announced too. So I'd say there's pretty good odds of restoration because he posted an obvious joke. Don't you remember the Snyder Cut was leaked through Tom and Jerry on HBO Max? It was a big thing. Zach is essentially leaking his return while nodding to that. This is how Zach operates on Vero. He operates on Vero to reinforce his bubble. That's all he needs to do. That's how the whole thing got to where it is. People follow and pay attention to Zach. This is why there's so much certainty now.
Well, and yeah, that's that
like
is.
I said, I will happily eat
God.
this L, and I would happily take this L and eat crow if Zach actually said we're going to finish the nightmare scenario, whatever he was going to do with it. I would be so happy. I just don't think it's going to happen.
It's like he has Rebel Moon until the end of this year, which will take him, like production will take him to the Thanksgiving, and post production will take him to the beginning, like end of winter, early spring of next year.
So we're going to get 2 more turkey pictures, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then he's going to work on Planet of the Dead. And he also still has other spin-offs to work on for the Army of the Dead movie.
Yep.
And which are 2 prequels series.
And then something animated, right? He's got something
animated.
Well, I mean, granted, he is only producing those, right? So
he's producing and directing the pilots and writing those writing the scripts. With people from 300.
Oh no, he's writing the script. Yikes!
With the people from 300 as well. So, I mean, and what's the 300 and Guardians of Galaxy writers are writing with him.
Can I say something, man, about like what was it yesterday? I was watching your stream, I think, Matt. Whenever you had like several people on, and a couple of hardcore Snyder defenders were on. And one of the things that I kept noticing with them is that, you would say, but look, here's the facts that are laid out. And they go, but I listen to the man, I read his Vero post. And it's like, they literally think that his word is fucking, gospel. Like they think that you can show them whatever facts you want to show them, but Zack Snyder said this thing that they construed this way or whatever. And it's like, it's so fucking demented to try and understand where they're coming from, man.
How much you want to bet when I type in Jim Lee, it's going to pop up some crazy shit?
It's going to.
Well, here's the thing. So like, hey, what's up, Ty? By the way, and appreciate the.
I love that he's wearing that.
The Guy Fawkes mask.
I can't even fucking breathe. I was gonna try to talk, but I couldn't breathe.
Remember.
Oh, this tweet.
Remember the 5th of
This
November.
tweet right here made me laugh. Matt, can you read this, please, in your
Yes.
voice?
Hey, sorry I'm late though.
No, it's okay. It's only almost 2 a.m. your time. What the fuck?
I know, dude. I've been texting Saggy and we've been packing. Getting ready for tomorrow, dude. We got walkie-talkies. It's legit.
Yeah. Okay. What voice did I use for Zod? I forget. I don't want to like.
I don't know. Just do something, dude. Make a funny voice.
Do a good one. Do a good one.
All right. Okay. Okay. Ready? Many have forgotten about the surprise magic that is known to happen in Hall H. The amount of stupid, rash YouTube videos and posts being done on Jim Lee, allegedly confirming no Snyderverse, is pathetic. That was bad. I'm sorry, guys. I was going for an active on that one.
Like Clayface from Harley Quinn.
But you missed that. You missed that part though. That's not what he said. Hashtag
Sorry. That's not what he said.
So what's the narrative that they're trying to paint here?
They're trying to paint that
You
Zach
need to delete your accounts.
that Jim Lee don't mean shit. It basically is what they're trying to say.
See how fast I'll turn on somebody because I could have swore last week they loved this guy.
Oh yeah, no,
that's how it always works.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And I actually messaged Tatiana Segal, and I didn't. It's not that I loved the content of her article, but I did say that it takes a lot to stick your neck out against that fandom specifically, and it has.
You're right, Benson.
It takes balls to go against the status quo when it comes to Zack Snyder. So, I told her, I just said, I have a lot of respect for, the risk that you're taking.
Yeah.
And she just gave me a thumbs up. So.
Well, Christopher Mark is correct. Jim Lee is the one who would know best what is going on with the DCU and really Snyder's era is over. How many times folks need to hear this? I love this though. Big Screen Leaks even chimed in on that video I posted. He said Jim Lee oversees everything DC. His work should be trusted more than anyone else's. But the online gritters will continue to convince the segment that it was all lies meant to keep a secret that's never coming. Read this, though, right? Wasting free agency, right? This is a Snyder guy saying, yeah, just like No Way Home, when Andrew and Toby denied being in that movie, it was because they were telling the truth. Like, come on, guys, why would anyone lie about movies for a big reveal?
But they were directly
they
involved.
were also leaked.
Yeah, no, but they were directly, involved in the movie, in the sense that they were actors in the film. Jim Lee is literally just setting the expectation. You know what I mean? As the company of DC, he is setting the expectation during this little, what is this, a press panel?
No, this is Comic-Con.
This is a Comic-Con panel where he's drawing and taking Q&A.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, he's literally setting Jim Lee, like we've all said, Jim Lee's not just embedded in the film department, but he's in the animation department. He's in the comic book department. The guy is a staple of DC and Warner Brothers. And if he's saying that there is no, plans to reveal anything about Snyderverse at Comic-Con, I would take that at face value.
Let's see. This account catalog so much stuff. I want to say.
Hold on, I kind of want to see what Dave Pena has to say about this, but I'll look it up myself.
Oh no, we can look it up.
Oh, I never got to watch that video.
Oh, of Dave losing his shit over that article.
Yeah, I never got to watch that.
Yeah, we could pop it in a little later. It's less dramatic now that I know about it, or now that I've seen it and stuff like that.
This is his response.
All right.
Perfectly fine answer. Things can always change as they have been, given how things are now. I like how happy he is that the whiteboards are out there. I'm sure it was a lot of fun working with Zach coming up with all that. Even if ball cap guy was there too.
Okay, so he's referring to Jeff Johns.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean that's not like a delusional answer. I mean it's him defending it. It's him defending it, or him saying, okay, this could be a thing. Things change though. But it's like, look, here's my thoughts on this. Oh God, the truth. But my thoughts on it basically are like this: if the Snyder, bringing Zack Snyder back not going to happen. Like this period.
No.
Like there's just not a lot of
Period.
time. That 2-year deal, and if anything happen, and they're going to probably re-up the deal if Rebel Moon does well.
They're probably
So
going to
much
even
negative
extend
press,
it even
they-
more than
they
just 2
say
years.
that-
They're going to do like 5.
Yeah, and there's so much negative
Someone
press
just said
on
be
this.
quiet.
Who the hell said be quiet?
They say, any press is good press, but that's not always true, man. There's like a lot of static and friction, and just there's a stigma attached to Zack Snyder right now. Is it fair? I don't know. But I know that I don't think it's something that Warner Brothers wants to mess with, man. I just really don't, no matter how much money they can make. I just don't. It's bad press.
It's just a sad state of affairs right now. It's just so much coping and so much.
If even half of the stuff in that Rolling Stone article is factual, Warner Brothers is never going to fuck with him again.
Yeah, that's a very good point because, I mean, Warner Brothers already is surrounded by negative PR, right? Let's look at Amber Heard. Let's look at Johnny Depp. Let's look
Ezra
at
Miller.
Ezra Miller, right? They don't need another. They don't need another person that's being painted like this. And if, like Dane just said, if any of that is true in that Rolling Stone article, I mean, the company just doesn't look good, at all.
Sure, but I shared. Dave responded to someone else before that, and so he said, "Okay, first off, why are we asking Jim Lee this question? He's not going to be in the know of this stuff, and fucking you who's turning on him. You're ridiculous in what is wrong
He's
with
not going to
fandom.
know.
Lastly, it's Cavill that might be showing off, not Zach. Dave,
That's actually
I'm sorry,
incorrect.
Dave.
Jim Lee would know.
Jim Lee would know. He would.
The
Well, okay,
company-
so
the
well, let me
company's fractured right now. Jim Lee is. I would assume that Jim Lee, being the legend that he is essentially one of the leaders around the office right now.
He literally heads up DC Comics. He's involved with pretty much.
It's kind of like
single
it's
movie.
Yeah, there's like he would know about what's going on. Now, granted, look, will he like admit certain things or whatever? No, he won't be. But I think
why would he say that if it was blatantly lied?
Yeah,
Like a
well,
blatant
they say,
lie?
well, if you, but
Because
it's one of,
usually-
yeah, but hold on. It's one of those things where, again, I think if anything, like, to give it the, like, let's say the most charitable aspect of it would be to look at it from like read between the lines. So what he's saying is Zack Snyder is not currently has nothing in development over there at DC, but it didn't say anything about Henry Cavill or potentially continuing with those characters. However, and I mentioned this last night as well, but I'll just quickly reiterate it. If Henry Cavill is signing on to play Superman in the Black Adam movies, but Zack Snyder is not attached, will that actually be Superman?
Right? Are you talking about? Will that be Superman in the eyes of?
Yes.
The Snyder community?
Will the Snyder fan base, as they're already bloodthirsty and rabid as they are, accept that Henry Cavill is going to be in a movie not directed by Zack Snyder portraying the Man of Steel?
And
They gotta deal with it.
the sad part is they probably wouldn't take to it well.
No, I think you're right. Because look, you don't see them like simping for fucking Rebel Moon very much, or fucking Army of the Dead when it was out. Like they're it's a very specific thing that they want, and it's Zack Snyder and DC characters. They don't really give as much of a shit about Zack Snyder outside of that, and they're probably not going to be cool with anything that's like the same actors but not with Zack Snyder involved. It's a specific cocktail they're addicted to.
And we talked about. So I believe.
Yeah,
that,
H-Bars, I believe you. I think that's exactly what would happen.
I believe we talked about this last night. The Snyder fan base, they don't give a fuck about anything aside from getting the movies that they want to see. Right? The AFSP thing is gone. The charitable aspect of it, you don't hear about anymore. It has nothing to do with Zach going back to an abusive workplace, right? It has nothing to do with anyone's emotions or anything. It's all about what the fans want, right? Because we've given them an inch, and now they want to take a mile, right? So we've talked about this ad nauseum in the sense that the fan base is very, very selfish in that way.
I got a question, Matt, Ty, all of you. I have a serious question. Do you think that the fact that this movement, I'm doing air quotes, happened, and this movie was made, but because of all this infighting and splitting with the fans and the bad press, do you think anything like this will ever happen again? Will they ever allow fans to dictate what's going to be made?
No.
This will never happen again, will it?
No.
They ruined this for everybody.
Look at the implications of it.
Yeah. Well, and if you read like the article, they talk about like other studios kind of doing the same thing, like wanting to determine
Sonic.
whether or not something is actually like has real people behind it versus bots in order to like make sure that they're not going to be bullied into spending money. There was that interview that Tatiana Siegel gave with Matt Belloni, where they talk about even now more studios are cautious about this about the fan engagement online because they don't know how much of it's real or how much of it is fake. And again, are there real flesh and blood people who are fans of Zack Snyder and want to see this? Dude, yeah, 100 fucking
we
percent.
know that.
I'm
But
one
we-
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I think the idea there is that, like, you know, I heard Mikey say, like, in regards to this article, oh, it's like Zaslav just says that it's petty and that it's dumb. Like, they would have known about it. The company gave a very standard response. We're just working on our own thing. This has nothing to do with us. This was an old thing. But it doesn't change what people are saying happened. And that's the biggest issue with these kind of conversations. Like I said, I got into it with Enosh last night on Max's show about, like, you know, look at Zach as just on a personable level, on just a person level, right? On a human level. Lost his kid, lost his movie within the span of a month. That's tragic, dude. The first one definitely outweighs the second, but they're both compounding stressful environments.
When they happen at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so from there, you end up just having this guy who is grown to hate Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
He hasn't spoken highly of the company. Like, he never spoke highly of the company, even during the process.
Say he never did. Like, he never did really speak too highly of them.
No. Well, the thing is, though, it's like, look, Warner Brothers back like in the Jeff Robinov days, like, you know, like late 2000s to, like, you know, I guess you could say
a great company.
Yeah, like if you were a loyal director and you could bring in a movie on time and I don't know if I'd say under budget, but at least on time, and it worked out well with audiences and critics.
With a reasonable budget.
Yeah, they would give you whatever you want. They would literally say, like, you know, remember Ben Affleck brought Argo Best Picture win, and then his vanity project that they greenlit was that Live by Night, but he was in such a rattled state from alcoholism that he fucked that movie up.
That could have been a good movie. That's the gangster one, right?
Yeah, that could have been a good movie, but it's like, because I mean, like, look, The Town and Argo are fucking amazing. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Movies.
Yep. But it's just like, that's what that happened.
That's why Warner Brothers was always known to be the director's studio.
Well, but also, by the way, do you guys recall that I think it was Hollywood Reporter had put out an interview or put out an article recently talking about the inner workings of Warner Brothers Discovery and how they were upset that, like, when looking at the books for Warner Picture Group, they're like, why the fuck did we give Clint Eastwood like $30 million for that Cry Macho movie?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, because he's loyal.
He didn't deserve anything.
Yeah, like, because he's
Rodney
loyal.
makes a good point, though.
We don't owe anyone favors.
That's really how it used to be.
Yeah, one for us and one for you. Yeah,
make us one that we want, and then we let you do what you want with your video.
Well,
That's how it used to be.
But that's what George Clooney did. If you ever look at George Clooney, he did the Ocean's movies in order to be able to get Good Night and Good Luck made. You know, which is a phenomenal.
Did it not win an Oscar? Yeah,
I think it was nominated. It was a great movie. But then, like,
that all plays into, like, part of why the Snyder Cut type of thing can never happen again, because it was a perfect storm of situation. Like, for one, the medium is changing. How people
being launched. There was COVID going on.
How people are consuming movies is changing big time for the first time in maybe ever. And then also the movie was already pretty much made. That's another huge thing that they like to forget about, right? Like, it's not like they're going to start making movies out of scratch just because a few people on Twitter are demanding it. It was almost just like a pity thing before. They're like, well, we got this much of the fucking thing done. We might as well give them $70 million and let them finish it up and help us launch our streaming platform. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a perfect storm.
Honest question, guys. And I might take some heat for it, but because I am a huge Zack Snyder fan. I even like Sucker Punch, man. I love all of his movies, man. But if that streaming service doesn't get launched, do we get the Snyder Cut?
No.
Okay, this is wondering. There's anybody
that's
the
the answer.
way I do.
No, there doesn't have to be anyone else answer. The answer is no. Fundamentally, no, because look at the perfect storm that happened. under any other circumstance, if the pandemic doesn't happen, if HBO Max doesn't desperately need content and to compete with Netflix and Disney, the Snyder Cut never happens. It was never intended to come out.
True.
And it wasn't even, people inside Warner Brothers were like, it will never happen. And it was only by chance and by Jason Kylar coming into the company and actually taking a second look at it, did he see that there was a potential of a return on something that they, already theoretically made. The money was already spent. They just needed a little bit more, right? So you could say the same thing for the Air Cut. And I'm surprised that they didn't do both at the same time, to be honest. But that's the reason it was made. That's it. If it was any other circumstance, no.
I never felt like Air was a good fit for Suicide Squad. He's not that kind of director.
That shit's so laughable to me. The fact that anybody really thinks it.
But
Harsh
I love
Times,
Air. I love Air. But
I love Air too, but that's not his type of movie, Matt.
What do you mean?
Well,
it's not his
watch
type
like
of movie?
dude, like
It's
watch
exactly his
Fury,
type of movie.
like watch
Well, no,
fucking
well,
Fury,
Ty, I
like
understand.
End of Watch.
No,
like
Ty, listen, I understand what you guys are saying. He's a great ensemble director. He works with ensemble cast. I get that, but his shit is so serious. Things like Harsh Times, Training Day, Fury. Like he helped on Training Day. Like this.
Oh,
guy,
he wrote Training Day.
Yeah,
but
Brooklyn's finest. This guy is a dark director, man.
Well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
because he is. I mean, the guy came from a rough past. I mean, he lived on the streets. He slang. He's no joke. I mean, the guy.
I love him. I would love to see his cut of the Suicide Squad. I would love to see his cut.
But that's the part that's missing from the theatrical version is his tonality. Of
it doesn't feel like an Air movie.
Right.
It doesn't.
It's the tonality.
But that's the way that it was cut. Go watch Bright.
I like Bright.
I loved Bright. I thought Bright
was a good movie.
I
wish Max Landis wasn't a piece of shit though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like God damn it, bro. Like Bright was meant to be Max Landis' Star Wars. Like they were gonna do Netflix. That was one of their first big films. They put 90 million in it.
It was the first big one.
Yeah, and then like that was meant to be like that was gonna kick off a whole franchise of shit.
Yeah.
And then they done fucking goofed, man. I mean, Max Landis. Like I had a friend of mine who was like good friends with him. And like I was like, so is this true? And she's like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. I'm like, God damn it. Because I was gonna try to use her to get closer to him, be all like, sup, bro? Teach me some shit.
Yeah.
You know, like you're a good writer, man. Fuck, dude. It sucks that, people in those positions can be that kind of way, but it is good to call them out. I think though, but again, they're not like David Ayer. I want to see his cut, but the studio fucked with them. But again, the studio at that time was very reactionary. Like that cut, keep in mind, Jeff Johns and John Berg were at the helm of that shit. Like they had to bring it over the finish line. And what they brought over the finish line ended up grossing a fair amount of money and doing really well. I mean, look, it won an Oscar. It won a Grammy for the soundtrack. The soundtrack was in like the Billboard top charts for like weeks and shit. 'Cause it's actually a really good fucking soundtrack.
It's a fire soundtrack.
Where was I? I was at something the other day.
But that's the thing is David doesn't stand behind that soundtrack either.
No, and that's unfortunate.
He said that his no radio songs were used in his cut. So
no, I know. But I still thought the soundtrack was fucking dude. That fucking 21. That 21.
That Lil Wayne song was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that soundtrack is awesome. Like
that soundtrack is like I would listen to it in my car all of August 2016. Man, it was in my shit.
If you put that on right now, we would jam out to it. I mean, not gonna lie, when I came out of the theater for Suicide Squad, I was entertained. I knew there was so many problems, but I was entertained.
Yeah, I liked it. I like both of them.
And the same thing for James Gunn's. I think the discourse between fans is the real problem, and we're turning into that Snyder Wars.
Whoever wins, we lose. Right?
That's what you should name it. Matt, you should write a book and call it the
Snyder Wars.
Yeah.
It's just going to be going like this person's a bitch.
I want credit
this person's
for that,
a bitch. This person's a cuck.
No, but
call everyone a cuck.
The DC fan base is slowly shifting into that Star Wars fan base mentality where the factions are.
I think it's
really,
already been there, man. I think it's already been there. I think it
agree,
happened
RJ.
like last
I
year. I
agree.
think it's been there for
Yeah.
a while.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying though. That we're slowly morphing into that, and that's a problem because
Well,
then,
so it's Phantom
I mean,
Menace
because
2.0.
even the studio knows that the Star Wars fan base is fucked. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
they know they
that's-
can't please everybody, so
Well,
so they
yeah.
just do their thing.
And sometimes I catch myself being toxic over this shit because certain friends will lose their temper just because you don't agree with them. And I don't want to be that dude, man. I don't want to be that guy.
Well, I think when it comes to this scenario, really what we're looking at is, you know, a lot has changed in fandom, whether it's entitlement, and I'm not even too sure if that's the word I'd want to use for it. But it's
we're
like
spoiled. We are.
we're definitely spoiled, but we're also over inundated with it. Right? Like we're just so over inundated with content. Like back in the day, you know, Chris and Dane, I mean, even Caden and RJ know this for the most part, but like back in our day, it was like, this is what you'll get and you'll fucking like it. You know, like
look, we would talk for months.
Now.
We go to see one movie, like we're going to see, like,
What are
I
you
don't know, say
talking
we're
about?
going to see.
Why didn't you include me in that?
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
going to
Ty,
see
I
like
forgot you
Days
were
of
here.
30
Thunder.
years old.
Matt,
You
do
get
you
it.
remember this? Like,
Yeah, we talked. Yeah,
like Days of, and there's just a movie poster, and we'd have to talk about that one teaser movie poster.
Dude, the only
For
way you
months.
saw a trailer was in the theater.
Yeah, in the theater, you had to go pay for
That was
a
the
movie
only way.
to
And
see
then
some
maybe
shit about another
Right.
movie.
yeah, and then maybe a week before the movie came out, a TV spot would come.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
you
it.
get a
Now
little
it's
bit of the
all
marketing
about-
leading up to
now
it.
it's
Yeah,
all about
That's it.
following the
Me
teaser.
and Matt
It's
were
all about
alive when-
following. It's about
Me and-
demanding a trailer.
Caden,
It's
Caden,
like
me and Matt
crazy.
were alive
theater?
when it was the Revenge of the Jedi trailers, and they changed them like 2 weeks before Return of the Jedi came out.
dude, I was one when that movie came out, man.
Yeah, me too.
Don't even lump me in
trailer?
with that shit, you old bitch.
That was the first movie I ever saw was Return of the Jedi.
The
Well, I
trailer-
mean, but no, you're right though. That it was called, you know, it was called
Revenge of the Jedi,
Revenge
and
of
they
the. I have the
changed the
poster on my wall right now, actually.
You got a
you know.
Revenge
wait,
of
wait,
the
wait,
Jedi
wait,
poster?
wait.
Yeah.
So the title of that movie, that Star Wars film. Because again, I'm like general audience when it comes to this shit. Well, when
Yeah.
it comes to Star Wars, it was not Return of the Jedi.
It was Revenge
Yeah.
of the Jedi.
You
2
can look
week-
up the poster
yeah.
right now, dude.
And
Get
then
the
2
fuck
weeks
outta
before,
here.
no, really, Ty, 2 weeks before the movie came out, George Lucas was like, I just don't think a Jedi would be out for revenge. He's trying to save his father. We're going to change the movie to Return of the Jedi.
Well,
And
is
he
that
changed
why
the
they?
movie.
So
Look at Maddie's going to show the poster.
Well,
Wow,
I'm
look
saying-
at that
well, I'm
Falcon,
saying-
bro.
well, I'm saying
I got
What-
my room's a mess. Don't mind my office. I got to clean it, but it's like I've got
come
the
Come on.
quality of this is shit. By the way, it's my other webcam. But yeah, I've got the those are all wood art. By the way,
Well,
Wood
dude,
wood
enlarge
posters?
your screen. Give us a full screen.
All right,
view.
all right,
That
all
shit
right,
looks
all right,
tiny
all
as
right.
hell, man.
So-
yeah, I know. Hold on. Is this?
did they use Revenge of the Sith in spite of that then?
Maybe.
Because they
I
knew
we're
that
not
the
sure.
Sith-
Well, I mean, yeah, because it matched
Hold
more.
on.
It
Does
matches with the tone.
more? Like,
Yeah.
Revenge and Sith, like that would make sense, right?
Yep,
I
the
love
Sith
that
are gonna
Revenge
have
of the Jedi
revenge. The
poster.
Jedi are.
There
gonna
we go.
That's such a great poster. That's a great poster, man.
Right. Well, those are. Sorry, my
So,
fucking.
so
hands
which
on.
one is it?
It's the one that they're on the top.
Red.
The red one.
Sorry, I'm
The
trying to
red?
hold it, and like my mic keeps
Oh,
adjusting.
Okay,
it.
yeah, I see it there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I
Sorry,
can't
it's
believe it.
fucking this whole place is. I have to clean it, but yeah. So I've got a Build-A-Bear Chewie over there. I've got the little ceramic Baby Yoda fucking piggy bank that my girlfriend got me that I love.
I'm laughing, Matt,
Adorable.
because I know how much you paid for that Chewy. That
I
couldn't
know it
have
was a
been
gift.
cheap.
It was a gift. It was a gift.
Oh, okay.
It was a
'cause those
gift.
Build-A-Bears are expensive. bro.
And that was actually my girlfriend's mom got that for me with the bowcaster. But these are posters up here. These are wooden, right? I got these at Marshall's, I think, back in 2015. So they were putting them out, and I don't know if there's any
Marshall's
more
always
of
has
them.
Great shit like that.
But I ended up like getting I got this so this Millennium Falcon rug. I got at Comic-Con in 2017. And it was like maybe 2015, sometime in there. I bought like $50, and then my girlfriend found that Death Star rug at Target, I think, not too long ago. Gave that to me.
I've seen that rug before.
Yeah.
That's a dope rug.
And then you can see I've got over here. There's my silver play button, and then you see those Wolverine claws right there.
Yeah.
Those are actual replica claws used in Logan, and that was given to me by IMAX. Back in 2017, because they were trying to do a promotion to launch, like get more people to see IMAX. So they sent me that in the fucking mail. They're like, "Do you want to see Logan for free?" I said, "Sure." And they said, "All right." Then they sent me that as a gift as
Are
well.
those? They just look small.
Yeah, they're. I mean, well, it's like it is what it is.
Throw rugs, man. Yeah.
Yeah, these are little throw rugs.
You guys
Are
ever
great.
seen the full size, like 18-foot by 18-foot Death Star rug? It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I don't have this on my
going around my room.
Yeah, you've got a lot, Ty. I mean, my room's a mess. That's why. But it's like the thing is though is those rugs. I didn't put them on the floor because of cats.
Yeah.
But I will full on say this, that Millennium Falcon. If I'm high, and I start rubbing that thing, it feels really good. It's like the texture of that rug is really yeah. It's not furry, but it's not furry. It's like just the texture is really nice. So, but yeah, my office is a fucking disaster. So yeah, let me just turn this off. But yeah, that's my little setup over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you actually hung this over play button, man.
Oh fuck, dude! Why wouldn't I? I mean, dude, I fucking cried. Are you kidding me? Absolutely
I know,
would play
but
that thing.
there was a rumor going around for a while that you hated it because everything that happened and shit, and you didn't.
No, I've never hated it. I've never hated my silver play button. That regardless of what happened 4 years ago, in my mind,
play button, motherfucker.
I earned that shit. I earned that shit.
Hey, let us back on the screen.
What happened? Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
Wow,
did we lose RJ?
No. Yeah, we did. RJ went to go.
He hates everybody. He probably RJ
okay.
likes to make his rounds, man.
Yeah. RJ's got to move around and do all that stuff. Yeah.
But he's killing it, man. He's killing it this week, man. He really is. He's crushing it.
Okay, real quick here. Geeks here asks, we'll get the super chats here in a second. I just saw this one. What do you guys think about Deadpool and Logan being on Disney Plus?
I'm happy.
I think
that means Disney Plus is moving towards rated R content. I love it.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, my thoughts on it are.
Not to mention that they have Daredevil and
the Punisher. Yeah, man, they got some. That's brutal shit.
And you can password protect. So I mean, they've done it the right way. I think it's a step in the right direction. They know that they have Blade coming. They know that they have darker content on the horizon, and I think they do want to step their toes into something a little bit more mature.
The first ever rated R Star Wars movie? No, I'm just making up shit now.
Well, you got to think about it. How is the superhero genre going to sustain? Right? It's got to keep evolving. It's got to keep changing. And it's got to keep adapting. So,
I think that one of the things is I've heard recently, and I've always said is there's certain things that just aren't made for you. I think they need to split it. I think that this is we're going to move this direction for the adults that love comic book stuff, but we still got to have the stuff that brings the kids in too, or we're not making any money.
Yep.
Well, I think though, again, but I think with the kid stuff, I think that's kind of multi-generational, right? Where it's like, because now a lot of adults will go see, they'll go see like Pixar movies on their own.
Exactly.
I mean, Disney Plus, like a large percentage of users are single person occupancies. So people living by themselves who have a Disney Plus account who watch Disney content, whereas like you thought it would just be something for kids, But I wanted to say though about the whole thing with Deadpool and Logan being on there happening this week or this right now is a very interesting thing. Because they definitely have Daredevil on there and all the Netflix stuff, but I look Saturday Hall H, man. I think that Mega Panel is going to have something
like a Deadpool like costume contest.
So
before their Marvel panel.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a Deadpool announcement for sure.
There's got to be something there because that was trending today as well.
Because Deadpool is the perfect thing for Comic-Con too. Like that's
but also could that be a tease? Can I do some Snyder stuff now? Can I do my QAnon stuff?
To bring
Deadpool and Wolverine at the same time or Logan at the same time released means I think we're gonna get Wolverine and Deadpool 3.
I think because everyone remembers when Loki came out on stage at Comic-Con. If you bring Ryan Reynolds out in costume,
break the fucking internet.
Yep, internet broken. Fucking
fourth wall right there.
It's like I was telling RJ. It's like if Cavill comes out, does that break the internet? Yeah, for about maybe an hour, and then but if Ryan Reynolds comes out, that breaks the internet for the rest of the day. Yeah, you know what I mean?
For the rest of a couple of days. Because
you know what would be amazing is if Cavill came out for the Marvel panel. And they cast him as Captain Britain in fucking Marvel. That would be, dude. Imagine the butt hurt on the Snyder.
Oh my god! That would be
And
such
when they
a change up.
announce Morbius 2, that's gonna be really awesome.
Fuck
That'd
yeah.
be well. That'd be Sony. That'd be Sony. That'd be Sony. But hey, then dude, if they don't listen, if they do not say it's Morbin time at Hall H, they fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. That was for
They're
Isaac.
changing the
Isaac
MCU to stand for Morbin Cinematic Universe.
Well, they released the hot toy, which is cool, but if I'm gonna
$280 though.
Yeah, no, Ahsoka. Did you? If I'm spending money, it's on the Ahsoka one.
I mean, I literally just saw the hot toy for fucking for Morbius. I'm like 200.
Did you see the Rosario Dawson version of Ahsoka?
No, not
It's
on Hot Toys.
Incredible, dude. It's a premium. I'm tempted, bro. The pre-orders are so high though, but yeah.
See, I'm not. See, for me, for the Ahsoka one, I might get because like I was thinking about it, and when it comes to like collectibles, like I don't really buy a lot of shit. Like nothing really speaks to me much anymore. On that, like that desire to buy something, right?
That makes me sad.
No, but you know what does? You know what does though?
What?
Mandalorian.
Okay, there you
like
go.
Mandalorian, I'm like, I will look for things when I go to the store. Like if it's worthwhile, I'll pick it up or something like that. Like I got that fucking ceramic Baby Yoda, goddammit.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Like my Star Wars shit ever. If you guys saw my room, you'd be like, "Wow, Crystal in a toy store."
My girlfriend got that for me, and I legit like smiled when I saw it. It's so fucking cute.
Yeah,
like I love Baby Yoda, man. That shit's my jam. Anyway, let's see. H Bar's here for 5 bones. Thanks, buddy. He says a follow up to Geek's question. No excuse for Daredevil not being TVMA now. I really hope they don't fuck that one up. I really hope they don't downplay it. I know there's been talks of this like lighter hearted Mark Waid approach to it.
Yellow suit, McDonald's suit. I don't know, man.
I really, really hope that's not the case.
Ryan would go for it.
Who?
Wait,
no, we're talking about Daredevil. Talking about
Daredevil. What is his name? Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll go for it.
I think he'd be good in anything he does. To be fair, I think he would do his best with the material. But I mean, it's like, look, it's like the Moon Knight. You could take the violence in Moon Knight and put it in a Daredevil environment and have it be relatively okay. I mean, like, look, Moon Knight, they promised this brutal. It really wasn't. There's a lot of Kevin Feige, I think, overpromised and underdelivered on a lot of that shit. But again,
Winter Soldier was more brutal violently than Moon Knight was.
It really was, yeah. But I'll say this though: is the idea though is like I don't hate Kevin Feige. Or I'm not mad at Kevin Feige for overpromising and underdelivering. They've put so much on that dude's plate that and so much on him that I feel like he's kind of just like, and they're also going through growing pains and COVID.
The guy built an empire, man. He's under a lot of shit, man.
All I want to know is if they're, I just want to know what's going on with the Star Wars stuff, which I think D23 was when we might find that one out.
Yeah.
But getting back into, I got to answer some supers though real quick. I forgot. So we got H Barts here for $2. Says, will they be talking about this being Zack Snyder in 2026?
Yeah.
Some people will talk about it until the day that they die, which will probably be well beyond when Zack dies.
People still talk about The Last Jedi.
There's going to be like Elvis type rumors about Zack Snyder once he's dead. They're going to be like, no, he's living on an island.
Alaska.
He's the one that bought Epstein Island. Guys.
He's going to come back with the Snyder Cut 2 any day now.
Yeah, he's been gone filming.
Tupac's the new cyborg. Yeah, I can just see it. It's gonna get crazy, man.
That'd be great. And then also H Barts.
Alfred Pennyworth.
Who is Alfred Pennyworth?
Elvis.
Oh yeah. We got hold on. H Barts here for 5. Thanks, buddy. Says the Ayer cut is more realistic, though that never deserves to be seen. I mean, we touched upon the Ayer cut, which is why I missed this. I'm sorry, buddy. No, I mean, I think a lot of these cuts of these films deserve to be seen. I think look, there's always a difference between artistic integrity, artistic intent, and studio meddling. And look, studios put up the money, so they can do whatever the fuck it is they want. Yep. And their job is to make money. That's why they do it. But I don't see the problem with having extended cuts or alternate cuts or whatever if they come off of something that's already finished. Have you guys ever seen the movie with Mel Gibson, Payback?
Yeah, with the smack. That's a great movie.
Yeah, well, did you ever see the director's cut, which completely alters the back half of the movie? It's an entirely different fucking film.
No, I haven't seen director's.
It's good. It's really good, but it's not as. But I preferred the theatrical because I felt the theatrical played into the tone that the first half of the movie set up. because the tone in Payback is very kind of like Elmore Leonard type, you know?
Yeah, and it's got even a little comedy to it when he keeps telling them how much and they keep getting the number wrong.
Yeah, like how much is this for? Like,
You know,
like 7 million,
finally-
70,000.
And finally he rolls his eyes and he's like, whatever.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
God, James Coburn, my shoes cost more than that.
Smashing his toes with a hammer, bro.
Speaking of Daredevil, though, you know that Ben Affleck Daredevil movie pretty much sucks all the way through, but the director's cut actually kind of made it better. It's very similar to Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, in that way, where it's like, okay, this isn't very good, but then you just add some scenes here and there that were cut out, and it's like, okay, it's at least a coherent fucking story now.
I have only one complaint though with the director's cut of Daredevil. The Coolio subplot was terrible.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Like that I was every time I cut back to that, I'm like, no, just no. I love Coolio, right? I heart Gangster's Paradise, all that shit. You know, hey man, like I grew up in the '90s. You know,
me too. I get it. I'm
right?
there, man. I'm there. Dangerous Minds. I'm there.
Yeah, right. We all saw Dangerous Minds, dude.
Michelle Pfeiffer was great in that. I'm telling you.
Turn that chair around. Damn.
Yes,
Oh, she sat down. Yeah, she was speaking real to them
Coolio.
kids.
Yeah.
What's it? What was the other song he did? It was like
Fantastic Voyage.
Fantastic Voyage.
Long and right.
Yeah. Slide.
Can't say the rest of it, but
yeah, it's just like you know, it's like we all just go like, yo, y'all know Bone Thugs and Harmony, and you're all like Crossroads, man.
Crossroads, man. That's the one I remember. Listen, guys, my dog's going crazy. I gotta let him out. But
all right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming by.
I always have so much fun when I come on here, man. I do.
Well, that's the point of
I love
HWAD,
talking about this shit, man. So y'all be good, and I'll be around more often. I promise.
All right, Chris. I'll see you later, buddy. Get some rest, man. Thank you. All right. We got one more from H Barts here. Thank you. Says, you think of Ray Fisher, or if Ray Fisher worked for Marvel, he would have called Feige a racist? I think so. I don't know if I'd go that far.
That is so biased when it comes to Ray Fisher, though.
That's just I don't know, it's pretty specific. What if? I guess.
I mean, well, it's I get the context in regards to the what if scenario, but I feel if Fisher would have worked for Marvel and would have worked under Feige, it would have been a different scenario. I think they would have taken the complaints a bit more serious, and I think they would have also had a bit more oversight.
I also think it wouldn't have happened at Marvel.
Right.
It would not have happened at Marvel. No, not at all. Not at all. But there would have been all, but I think it would have. Yeah, I don't think there's that. And then
here's something I want to. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, there's one more super chat here from Rational, but then we can move on. Saying here, Matt will lose it when Finn Jones and John Bernthal show up at the Marvel panel. Don't fuck with me about Finn Jones. Don't fuck with me.
I
about
like
that.
Iron Fist.
Thank you, fucking thank you, dude.
Dude,
like that
Iron
gets.
Fist is not a bad show, dude.
I thought it was pretty awful.
Well, season one was garbage. Season one was bad. That I blame that on Scott Buck, dude. But season 2 was a lot better, and I love Finn Jones and the Defenders.
How many shows has Scott Buck ruined? We can't keep letting him get away with
Dexter, the last 4 seasons of Dexter.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? You get to the Trinity Killer, which is like the pinnacle of that goddamn show. It's so emotionally raw and fucks with you.
And then it's just downhill.
And then it just downhill from there, you know? And then you're like, yeah, later on he fucks his sister, I think. I think that happened later on, right? At some point, I think he fucked Deb.
Yeah, isn't Scott Buck also the one that ruined Inhumans?
Yes.
Yep.
With
same dude.
Yeah, Jeff Loeb and Jeff Loeb, like, look, man, like your legacy will always have that Scott Buck albatross.
Oh my god!
We'll always have that already.
The thing is that Ike Perlmutter was pushing Inhumans on every single character. Guess what? Quake was supposed to be X-Men, but then when
so was Kamala Khan.
Yeah, and when the Inhuman push came, Ike was like, no, any new character that's going to become mutant, actually change them to Inhuman.
Yep. That's why I don't know if hopefully everybody's seen Ms. Marvel.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
That's why.
But I know the ending. But I know the implications of the ending. So
it's like they pretty much retconned the decision.
They didn't retcon. They more course correct.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Did in the
MCU
what they wanted to do in the comics.
Yeah, exactly.
It's course correction rather than
they course corrected. Yeah, exactly. Because Kamala should have been a mutant from day one.
Day one. Like
so. I mean, I'm glad
so
that
I would not be surprised when Quake shows up in the MCU, she's a mutant. You know.
You think they'll change it?
Yeah, they will. Because again, I think he's going to course correct everything that was supposed to happen is going to happen with the original creators.
So she's going to be in the Secret Invasion show, right?
Maybe there's rumors kind of going on with that, but there's not 100%. actual evidence that she is.
All right, and then what about the She-Hulk, Jessica Jones confirmation? Is that more legit?
I think they're gonna save Jessica Jones for the Echo stuff, and then I don't even think she's really going to be in the Echo thing. She's more gonna be like in the Daredevil show, like as they're gonna tease her a lot.
Okay.
Like how they tease.
There shouldn't even be an Echo show to begin with. I
understand why there's an Echo show.
I had no attachment to that character.
I understand why. I understand why they have it. I understand why they have the Echo show.
Okay. I mean,
the reason why, again,
it's probably to advance a certain storyline.
It's to slowly it's Echo is like used as also to, because Echo as a character in the comics is really cool. She has her own solo story stuff, and she has her own run-ins with Bullseye and stuff, and like Daryl characters as well.
She's actually currently on the Avengers, and she has the Phoenix powers.
Right. So she's a cool character in the comics, and I think we didn't see much of her in the Hawkeye show. And Echo, I think the Echo show is gonna be fine, especially if you have Marion Dyer, who's a writer from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't. And again, it's the Echo in the comics is a whole different story. It was the actress that played Echo that I didn't have an attachment to.
I think it's.
I thought she was pretty great.
I honestly, I
think she's great, but I
think she was very emotionless. Like
but that's Echo. That's Echo in the comics as well. When you first meet her, she's very.
She's pretty closed off and shit.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Like that's the thing. Like you have to to understand, and like I think what things people have to understand is to understand the character first before going to a movie or a show, because when you understand the character, like who they are when they're first represented, when they're first in the show, or when they're first in the comic, and to like the very end, like currently.
I mean,
then I see the show more than someone who doesn't know who the character is at all and just watches that and be like.
I see what you're saying, Caden. Like I kind of agree, but at the same time, even as a fucking hardcore comics fan, I think it's kind of unfair to expect everybody to get to know the character before. Like the show or movie should be able to show you who this character is just within the context.
It should be able to stand alone.
It should, and I think although like again, like it's one of those things where it's like you have to have a balance. You should be able like to go into something blind, like without knowing who this character is, but you should at least have some knowledge of the character,
Yeah.
And, like, you're just not like completely like, what the heck is this? Like, because if you have at least some knowledge of a character, then you can at least understand like who
what
this
the
character
motivations are.
Like at least like you can just legit go on the Marvel Comics wiki and look and read that stuff. And be like, okay.
I think Jarbo died. I don't know.
No, I just literally have not cared about this conversation. I think the actress who I'm hoping she's better in her own show. I had no attachment to her in the Hawkeye show.
I'm with you.
I mean, look, and again, like that show had such a bad like third act of that ending that it just made it icky to like think about.
Yeah, it's kind of went to poop at the end there.
It just I'm like, it had such a strong start in my opinion, and then it kept going, but just
I think what would have helped the ending of Echo's character in that, or like the transition for Echo's character, would have had to kept that scene, that ice cream scene with her and Kingpin after karate lesson in the flashback. Like that would have helped that scene.
I just feel like we weren't supposed to get too attached to her yet at that point. Like she was kind of almost a tertiary character in that show. So.
I think honestly, I would not be surprised if that deleted scene is in this series.
Maybe maybe it will pop up in
deleted scene
from Hawkeye.
From Hawkeye, it's about Echo when she was a younger kid, and she was having karate lessons, and her dad didn't show up to pick her up, and it was actually Wilson Fisk.
Oh, that's it. Like more of that scene.
And it was like he brought ice cream.
So to tie all this back together, everything we've been talking about, pretty much. I got a question for the panel. how much do you guys think the whole anti-Marvel bias plays into the Snyder cult, right? Because I see a lot of correlation of like the same people that are convinced that it's still going to happen are also talking shit on Marvel all the time. So it's like team sports.
Yeah, it started when that whole rumor of Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige were leaking stuff to each other, and when it was like, oh, Jeff Johns leaked BVS to Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige leaked something to
used it for Avengers.
Yeah,
right?
For like Civil War or whatever.
That sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Civil War, Age of Ultron stuff like that. Like all that stuff was taken away from DC. Like that whole plot of the Sokovia Accords was taken away from DC. That whole rumor, and how Jeff Johns was actually trying to be a Marvel spy, and then James got it's this whole thing where it's turned into this thing where it's always been between fans, at least it's always been Marvel versus DC.
Yep.
And then when you go into the DC fandom, you have that section of DC fans, or at least a group of people who like DC movies based off of a director named Zack Snyder, who's in that, you have crossover between those two fandoms who, and then you have that kind of like merge, of ideas of like to hate Marvel, because, Marvel took ideas from Zack, and then also this whole idea that it has to be Marvel versus DC and stuff. Even though legit, when you look on Twitter between creators between Marvel and DC, you have James Gunn and David Ayer are being best friends on Twitter. You have, Russo brothers saying that the Snyder Cut is the definitive cut of Justice League. You have all these people from both sides of DC and Marvel that are creatives that are we like.
Yeah, it's the fans that are the divisive people.
Yeah, so it's all about the fans that are divisive, and then also
it's always. I mean, it's
trend now where you have this trend now where you have to hate on Marvel to be part of the cool kids club on Twitter,
which is absolute horseshit.
And it's just because it's the biggest thing. So whatever the biggest thing is going to get a proportionate amount of haters, right? Because there's always going to be the contrarians. And there are. It's not to say that I fucking worship everything Marvel does. There's criticisms to be had, but I barely even take any time to address them because I'm constantly dealing with, just bad faith and nonsense bullshit that people are saying. But
well, I think a lot of it these days is just bad people just acting. I don't know why I'm saying acting in bad faith. I don't even know if half of them know any better. I really wonder, how many people have just been conditioned to be like, well, okay. I just got to give this for example. For example, I actively get shit for this, but I say it and I mean it. Fuck Red Letter Media. Just fuck Red Letter Media. They have been nothing but cynical as fuck for years. They really do dictate a large part of the conversation online. And I think they've turned people into these armchair critics who just go into shit wanting to hate it. And even movies that they've said that they liked, they'll get shit on by their fans because they want their fans want them to fucking hate it.
Yep.
And here's another thing. They talk about how there's no original. I saw this today from a friend of mine who was basically they bitch and moan about studio films, but they never go and talk about independent movies in cinemas. So it's if you have indie films in cinemas and you're bitching about the current Hollywood fare, why don't you go and see? But there's a reality there. The reality is the algorithm won't push that out because no one's looking for that. Never mind the fact that they're in a great position, one I could only imagine being in one day, of having the influence to go hey, have you guys heard about this movie? It's playing at some, it's making its way around indie-wise. Check it out. It's really fucking good, or whatever with it, right? But it's just that's how I saw. Was it Let the Right One In? Right, my buddy calls me up one day and he goes "Yeah, you heard of this Swedish movie, the Swedish vampire film called Let the Right One In?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Dude, go check out the trailer online." All right, I watched the trailer. That looks pretty fucking cool. It's like, dude, the reviews for this thing are off the chart. They say it's amazing, it's great. It's playing downtown. Do you want to go see it? I'm like, yeah, totally. Let's go see it. So we, got a few friends together, jumped in the car, went down and watched it. Otherwise you probably wouldn't have ever heard about it because it wasn't going to make it out to the local megaplex. Right. And that's the thing is these indie films, they rely on word of mouth. You guys, or Dane, Ty, do you guys remember My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah.
You remember how popular that was when it came out?
Yes, I do.
And for those of you guys who don't know, it's a $5 million movie. It's a cute movie. It's a really cute movie.
Oh yeah.
But it came out. It's produced by Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, and it's really fucking funny. And it ended up in art house theaters basically, right, and the indie houses. And then through word of mouth, it just started picking up and picking up and picking up. And then people were curious about it, so they decided to release it wide. And they released it wide, and it stayed in the top 10, I think, for like 14 weeks or whatever, making it as high as number 2. And the thing was, every week at the drive-in, we would pull out the fucking Sunday paper and we'd look at the top of the box office. And we were all tracking My Big Fat Greek Wedding because we were all rooting for the movie to stick around as long as humanly possible, even though none of us had seen it. But it was the little engine that could. So you had all these people, and then I finally watched it and I loved it. But it's like, where's that excitement anymore for these smaller fucking movies, right? Like where's that shit? This is why I think horror is simply just where it's at.
Yeah.
Shudder is putting out movies constantly like that look stupid, but do you know what?
Some
Some of
end
them
up murdering.
Yeah, they do really well with that crowd of people. I mean, but it's like that's the thing is I can't even tell you the last time I went to go see what you could dub an indie movie. I don't know. I can't even tell you. I don't even remember. Like that's just how far removed I've been now for over a decade. And stuff like movies that sound interesting. I'm like, well, because the thing is, they're like, oh, they have a limited theatrical, and then like, maybe they'll make their way to like, streaming in like a month or something. It's like, just wait a month.
Yeah.
I mean,
now you only have to wait. You what is it? 30, 45 days now?
Yeah, like 45 for Disney Plus.
I'm sure that when people got word of mouth that Thor wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be, that they waited it out. Or they're waiting it out right now.
Well, there's also no reason to go back to it.
Yeah,
that's the other thing too. Like, there's nothing there that really makes you go like, yeah, wow, I really want to see this again. And so that's kind of the problem with Thor. At the same time, its drop off wasn't like too dramatic, but that B+ cinema score is another thing that impacted it.
Yeah, I made the reference that like Marvel movies are they're so constantly getting high ratings and critical scores that it gets one that's like a B, and everybody flips the fuck out. And and I said it's kind of like a parents that have a kid that's a straight A student that one day just gets like a B-, and the parents start flipping the fuck out like, what's wrong or what's going on? Are you on drugs? But yeah,
why are you so stupid? It's a B+. You're an A student. Yeah, I know, man. Like that's the thing. I was like, I'm glad to have been always a C student because there was never any expectation, man. Fucking maybe that's just being a millennial, or what do they call us, Zennials? Because I was born in '82, and so it's that weird weird. Yeah, well, they say it's like so. Like I've seen people say Gen X goes like 1965 to 1985. I've seen others that say it's like 1963 to 1980. But but then like
I thought I was an elder millennial. That's what I thought I was.
Yeah, like but again, it's like Gen Z. We're not Gen Z, but like millennials, and then you've got like that weird gap between 77 and 83. They call that the Zennials. You guys are gonna laugh your ass off, but this was 100% true. TikTok is really fucking good at figuring out how old I am and serving me up Gen X content. Like elder millennial content where it's all like, y'all remember like corded phones and like black and white TV.
Yeah.
So, well, but the thing is though, Gen Y got merged into millennial. Back then it was Gen X, Gen Y.
1995.
So yeah, it's all crazy shit, dude. But anyway, a couple quick super chats here. Rational for $2 says, to panel, is Runaways and Inhumans canon to the MCU? No. I don't know. Probably. No, I don't think. I think they tried with Runaways.
Inhumans.
So I think what they're saying by having the same dude playing Black Bolt in Doctor Strange, I think that's kind of the implication is that we can kind of just see that Inhumans as one of the many universes in the multiverse, but it's not going to be the one that we're going to follow.
Exactly. That's one that's going to fall into the trash can and never be seen again. Same thing with the Runaways. Even though the Runaways was good.
Runaways, Inhumans, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's its own universe.
Yep, and The Gifted.
Well, God. Please don't bring that up. Please don't. That's painful. The Gifted is painful.
My buddy Gary Dillahunt was in that.
What's the?
Oh, that's a
Garrett
name
Dillahunt's
drop
pretty
right there.
badass.
Fuck you, buddy. You go like,
Wait,
hey,
you're buddies with him?
do you talk about raising hope? All right. Talk about his brief little cool little cameo in Looper.
He did have a great cameo.
He did.
Talk about was it Last House on the Left that he was in?
Yeah.
I like Garrett Dillahunt a lot.
Oh, he's great, dude.
He's
Raising Hope is
awesome.
fucking amazing.
He was arguably the best written character in the Walking Dead franchise, aside from Rick Grimes. John Dory is probably the best written character, and he was in Fear the Walking Dead, not even the regular
Dude,
Walking Dead.
he's so good that they cast him in Deadwood, and he died in like the first couple of episodes. They recast him again because they loved him so fucking much.
Yeah, dude, I only had 20 minutes to talk to him, and it was painful because I had so many questions that I wanted to get out, and he ended up saying he'd come on the long form podcast one day, but you take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, man, he's such a cool guy because like I got to talk to him about fucking zombie tigers, like. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because he was in Army of the Dead too.
Yeah, he was in Army of the Dead. Like, dude, the dude's worked. And then, I mean, the reason I was talking to him was because of Michael Bay's ambulance, right? So the guy's worked with Michael Bay, Zack Snyder, right? He's great. He's great.
Yeah, I like him quite a bit. I think he's definitely a fun actor because he can do like also Terminator too. Remember, like he was the Terminator in Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. So like it's just like okay, like that guy's been around for a long time, and hey man, I wish that guy nothing but the best. Him and Mark Pellegrino as well. It's like you see them; they're
Mark's
great character actors. Yeah, I've seen you talk to him and everything. Yeah. But there's a lot of really good character actors out there that don't get a lot of love these days. I that's the thing I really fucking hate.
You know why Mark doesn't get? Mark's political on Twitter.
What is he? But is he liberal or conservative? I think he's conservative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you can't really be a conservative in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that is that. I think that's like I think you can to a point, but it's like when Adam Baldwin is this conservative, but when he came out and he was all like, I think he made a comment about gay marriage or something, and like he got raked over for that thing. This was the year before Gamergate when he came up with the name Gamergate, and that didn't end up going over too well for him. But yeah, he's hardcore conservative, like hardcore.
Yeah, Mark.
Fun to drink with, but yeah.
But like I mean,
Mark is more of like. But isn't Mark more of like a central?
Yeah, he is. He actually like has his own party.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember him talking.
Yeah, they form. Oh yeah, you were there when we talked about that.
Yeah.
So, but I just recorded a segment with him for Springfield Comic Con.
I just saw.
Yeah, I did him, Ray Porter, and Brandon, because they're like those three are like I talk to them regularly, and
right.
They're just they're great. Like. There are so many great people in this industry that it just it reminds me every day that when you're looking at this fan base, it really is the fans that create it, that escalate it, that turn it and twist it. Like it's bad. It really is, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to watch. We're trying to watch and talk about good movies. That's all we want.
Well, that's why I've been trying to make it a point to like watch more content, right? Like I'm like, okay, I did Black Phone, I did the 3 Has Fallen. I meant to go see Nope tonight, so I was like, okay, that's 5 reviews I can record.
Dude,
and
I want to go see Nope just because of the UFO shit in it.
Yeah, like I want to go see. Well, the UFO stuff looks great, but it's like also Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
and I love Jordan Peele.
The other ones. Do you need
Get
to
Out,
see the other ones?
No. Get Out is really good. I never saw Us.
Aren't they all like connected though?
I don't believe so.
They're not connected?
No.
Oh, I was under the impression they were all connected somehow. Like a little
like they're connected
Peele-verse.
in the way that they're in the same multiverse of Jordan Peele, but they're not.
Oh, okay. So I can just go see Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Great. Because I want to go see some UFO shit.
Yeah, I was hoping to get to that tonight, but you know what? Hey, life has a way of working in other ways, and we're having a great conversation, so I'm very happy with that. And then also here we got Rodney. Thank you, Rodney, for 5 bones. It says, thoughts on Ethan Hawke's comments about Marvel treating actors great, but not their directors. That's a standard for Hollywood, to be fair. Like it's direct.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying it's like directors, man. Like I will say this though, it's like I think Ethan is like, you know, talking mostly about Scott Derrickson with those comments, because like, you know, him just coming off at the Black Phone and Scott Derrickson famously leaving Doctor Strange, and then going and then by the way, Black Phone is such a fucking awesome movie.
I like the trailer for that movie, hands down one of the best scary trailers I've ever seen. Cause like it leaves you reeling, like in the theater. If you see it in the theater, you're like, what the fuck did I just see? Cause it's creepy as hell. And Ethan also said another thing a little while back where he said, and I thought he was spot on when he said this. Ethan's a very, very, very intellectual person. And what he was saying was that, you know, back in the day, and when I say that, I mean like the 70s and 80s, people went out and saw movies and they didn't give a fuck whether a guy, you know, Joe Schmo from down the road liked the movie. If they liked it, they liked it. Right? Because at the end of the day,
so on people's views
at
on
the end of the day, film is art.
Yeah.
Art is interpreted many ways by many different people, and it's never looked at the same by two. You know, you perceive it the way you perceive it, right? That's what film's always supposed to be, right? It's supposed to connect with you on a level, right? You're supposed to laugh, you're supposed to cry, you're supposed to feel things, and if a movie can make you feel things, then it's done its job, right? Somewhere along the line, we lost that. And now all we want is these Marvel-esque blockbuster explosion films. And the art has really been lost somewhere along the way.
Well, no, it hasn't been lost. What has been lost is people's opinions. That's what's been lost. I think that's where people have now harped on others people's views on movies. And that's what has influenced people's views on different subsections of genres and different studios' movies. So if we didn't listen to other people's opinions, or take that opinion as your opinion as well, then we would see movies in a whole different light, where people, like we were just talking about, people wouldn't be shitting on Marvel's movies 24/7 on Twitter. You know, you wouldn't see 10 to 15 shit tweets. And
my thing is like, okay, maybe some, you know, people don't like what Marvel does. I mean, I can understand that, like, if you're going to see a Marvel film, you know, not the details of what you're going to get, but you know broadly kind of the vibe you're going to get and so on. But like, if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But there's no reason to then just throw that into like this broad generalization of like movies are dying, or that this is killing cinema or whatever. And it's like, there's lots of amazing fucking films being made all the time. Not all of them are coming out in theaters anymore, but you know, that's not Marvel's fault as much as it is changing, you know, the changing of the market.
That would be like us stopping, you know, the internet to save the libraries, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be the advancement. I think the problem though is it's not that people don't know what to think or don't know how to think. I think they're just kind of like, their lives are busy. Yeah. Their lives are full. I mean, whether it's with productive or unproductive or non-productive things, there's a lot going on in their life, and they're just looking for somebody who can, like, they're looking for an opinion that kind of backs up what they already think. But the problem with that is that those, usually the people that are providing those opinions don't provide enough context to at least allow for some kind of critical thought process to happen. It's like, oh, it's woke, it's trash, it's fire, it's shit, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's all of these buzzwords really that, you know, do what they do. And it's like, look, I ain't the greatest reviewer on the fucking planet, you know, but I try to speak with passion when I talk about these things. And I feel like that's what is going to resonate more. It's like, I just feel like I can't watch a lot of these reviews because, you know, people who have, they just, all they want to do is shit on stuff without ever providing any kind of critical thought.
Yep.
You know, and then again, the other problem with that too is in many instances, what you're dealing with are people who are up on a massive timetable, like, or a very short timetable. It's like, movie comes out on a Thursday night. You got to watch it. You then got to immediately give your review, which in many instances is just your immediate reactions coming out of the theater. Yeah. And then you associate whatever feeling you have with it to that. And that becomes the core opinion that you have, that you're almost never really able to change how you feel. And then this is where it's like everyone gives, you know, Matt Ramos soups. They give him a ton of shit. I think rightfully so. But it's like, I think even him changing his opinion on Thor might have been like everyone attacking him for it might have, again, kind of pulls into that where it's like, maybe he saw it again. Maybe he had a different opinion.
Yeah. I think this, also, it's one of those things where, so you have the, you know, social media reaction embargo, and you have your first review embargo. And this review gives you at most 5 times to watch a movie. Like if you're a critic. The reason why they do that is because then you have your immediate reaction, which is your social media reaction. And then you have your review, which you then watch the movie again after your social media reaction to mark up your review. And then you can watch it however many times, 2 more times after that, you know, or if you want to. Or if you need to like break it down for yourself, you know. And
I think that's the thing too, is like that's where I would love to be able to get access to some of these screeners to like go, okay, I'm going to watch it once and then I'll take my notes with it, or I'll have my initial thoughts on it, or I can pause it and think about something and get into it. Cause that's never lost on me as a viewer. Right. Like I've never, that never loses itself on me. Cause remember, I used to work at a drive-in. So like I would watch a movie in parts all the time, you know, like it would always happen like that. And I would get distracted, or I have to get up and walk away. Plus now I got fucking kids, dude. Do you think I get to sit down and watch a fucking movie? Hell no. Like I put on Sea Beast the other day. Yeah. I started watching that. By the way, super fucking good. But I'm saying my kids got in the way of that. Like my kids are just like, I thought they would like it. They don't give a shit. So it's like, all right,
yeah. I've been getting emailed the screeners, but I ended up for the last 2 waiting and not even watching them and just going to the theater because like I don't want to watch it on my computer. And then, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, movies. I'm never gonna watch screeners for a movie that is going to theaters.
Yeah, it's hard because like I got the Thor.
If I'm going to watch a screener, it's gonna be a series or a straight to streaming movie.
You know what I did watch though is The Gray Man, and
how is that?
Dude, I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, that drops in like fucking 3 minutes, man.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, dude.
Yeah, fuck, I forgot. I emailed Netflix about getting a screener and they ignored me. I think because the channel is small. I'm in the media center, right? Small? My channel is, I don't know, like I'm in the media center.
I'm in there.
Well,
so but I also have the GWW email.
Yeah, I think it's because my outlet is not big enough or whatever. I've been thinking about like merging, like doing a blog and just like writing up my thoughts and then whatever with that for SEO, because they like SEO with the blog stuff. They don't really, YouTube is still such a small thing for them unless you're really big.
I mean, because like the WordPress SEO, I mean, I don't know how it works. I do my tags like or
what I mean by that is like the GWW has been around for a while. It's established. It's got itself a foothold for search engine optimization. Obviously, you know, they have a presence. That's really what it boils down to. You know, it's kind of like, to give you an idea for podcasts, the average podcast, it never really gets a lot of downloads, right? There's so many podcasts that your average podcast
there's 4 million podcasts.
I thought there was only 1 million, but I guess it increased.
No. There's
and
the new number came out is there's 4 million podcasts as of right now.
Okay. Well, there's a lot, right? But you're still fighting for attention. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like with the metrics I read was like, if you can get like 116 or might be 160 downloads in your first week, you're in the top 10% of all podcasts.
Really?
If you get more than 500 downloads in your first week, you're in the top 5%.
Wow.
And like, I guess, so it's like there, because everyone's battling for attention, right? So if your podcast can pull in, you know, you think 500 people, we could do that on YouTube, not a problem, right? You know, but at the end of the day, it's a lot easier here than it is.
The audio is definitely harder to crack.
It is hard, but I've learned, again, like I've been doing TikTok with it.
But you can't do SEO on like podcasts.
No, you can't, but you have to find alternate ways to market it. And that's where Instagram, that's where YouTube, that's where fucking Twitter, and that's literally where TikTok comes into play.
TikTok,
right? So you could, you know, because I talk about shit.
Clips. Do you use Headliner?
I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I suggest checking out Headliner. It if you upload a podcast, it automatically selects, like it auto selects clips and shit for you, and like gives you suggestions. And then they're little small sections that you can upload to Instagram or it's a nifty tool.
It's just finding the right section of it. Like my take on it is like,
you can change it too.
Yeah. I'm still working on it. Like I'm still trying to like sit down and figure it out. It's time consuming and I don't have the time. I'm
still working on building the foundation for the TikTok that I want to do, because I want the TikTok to be full.
Well, let me tell you this right now. Don't overthink it. Just do it, and definitely run it on your fucking YouTube channel first. It's like, because YouTube, look, I think TikTok is going to get slammed by regulators in the country. I think that is
it going to get sold?
That's what I'm hearing, and I think it's going to happen. But then YouTube is really trying to make a push. Once they monetize TikToks, once they are monetize YouTube Shorts, game over for fucking TikTok if they can't compete.
Yeah.
Like even with the organic reach and the way that it works out, it's still, if you are not able, like it's all about monetization. That's what everybody's waiting for. If YouTube is able to do it first, because they're going to bring super thanks to the YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And it's like they finally rolled it out for here. I haven't gotten
by the way, like the super thanks makes it so much easier because you don't have to be live to get a super chat, basically.
Yeah, but it's like my thing is on that. Who the fuck would do it? I don't know. I mean, no one's bought one of mine yet. I'm okay with that. I'm not complaining. You know, I'm just saying it's such a weird thing.
Did you see the thing that you can like give? You can like. Is that the same thing?
It's like Twitch.
Yeah.
Where you can
give. Well, hey guys, let's. Dane's gonna get the hell out of here. Get to bed. I got to wrap it up myself. Just. But I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, appreciate you being here. Ready to check it out. Actual fandom.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, are you gonna go watch Gray Man? Go watch Gray Man.
I might turn it on before I fall asleep. We'll see.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later, dude. Thank you.
Later.
What I did want to get to though, before, because I do have to start. It is about 3-hour conversation, and I am getting a little on the sleepy side. But Moisture here did say for $2, thanks, man. Tim Allen is a conservative, and people love him. People love him because he's an approachable conservative, and he doesn't beat you over the head with his politics.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he understands.
And he's also Tim the fucking 2-man Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. I think that plays into it. That definitely is something that a lot of people.
Because Bill Cosby's fucking now Bill Cosby, Tim Allen is America's dad.
I'd say more like Tom Hanks is.
Yeah,
no,
Tom Hanks and then Tim Allen.
Tim Allen is, because what was Tom Hanks a father in? I'm talking about like he was American. Tim was a good father, and then we get to the Santa Claus, right? And just the pure nature of the Santa Claus franchise. Like Tim is the epitome of fucking.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk shit about the Santa Claus franchise. I'm like,
No.
whoa, man.
No.
Let's pump those brakes a bit.
Dude, I would play that fucking on repeat.
Yes. Am I excited for Tim Allen to return to the Santa Claus role with the showrunner from Last Man Standing? Yes, I am.
Wait, that's a real thing?
Yes.
No way. No way.
Isn't it like Santa Clauses, right? It's like Santa Clauses is what it's called.
He's trying to find the new Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So he's finally ready to
give up. He's realizing that he has to give it up because it's time for him to give it up because family. He wants to be around his family more, and he's realizing
he's got to give it to his kid.
I don't think so.
He's got to give it to Jack, right?
I think he's going to give it to. I think they're going to have before the episode before the finale. They're going to have what's his face?
Oh, it's a show.
Yeah, it's a show.
And the showrunner is the guy who did the guy who was doing Last Man Standing, which is a great show.
Yeah,
it is a great show.
Who's the elf in the first movie now? I'm forgetting the main.
David Krumholtz.
Yeah, David Krumholtz. Who did he play? In the first movie?
I know Spencer Breslin was in there, and
tell me this is all confirmed.
This is 100% confirmed.
Okay.
This was confirmed last year. Expect D23 to have more information.
I'm sure Disney Plus Day and D23 will have bunch of info for it.
Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm excited for it. I fucking love Santa. We watch it. We watch all 3 of them every year. Martin, look, dude, Martin
every
Short
year
as
it's a
Jack Frost is
tradition.
underrated. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh,
Jack Frost is underrated, but it's
Martin
also
Short
not
as
the
Jack
best.
Frost is amazing.
But it's also not the best.
No. The original is clearly the best.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus. Yeah, I mean, the second one was good.
You can't beat. I mean, I don't know, Jarbo. I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm gonna show my kids like Rudolph and all those ones, like the claymation, the stop motion ones, like the Heat Miser and all those guys. Like you gotta show those because that's Christmas for me. Watching those movies, that's Christmas.
Well, same with like How the Grinch Stole Christmas with the old
exactly.
animated one, and even I tried to watch. I watched the Benedict Cumberbatch one, the animated one that came out a couple of years ago. Yeah. I didn't really care for it that much.
It's too cartoony.
But the Ron Howard one with Jim Carrey is great.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey one is the Jim Carrey one was widely accepted to be like an acceptable.
There was so much
form.
adult humor in that.
Oh my god, it's unreal.
Like the fact that they have a swingers party and they're doing a key party. Yeah. I was like, I died laughing at that. Also,
dude,
like when he's doing the mail.
I did a bunch of acid in Watch That Movie. Wild.
That's crazy that Tim Allen's first role, like major role, is the Santa Claus.
What?
I mean, did he do that? Well, no, because
the Santa Claus was 90,
that came out 95,
92, right?
94.
94. Okay, when did Home Improvement start?
So
yeah, I was gonna say when did Home
the first role that he had is Tropical Snow, and then he was in the ABC TGIF as Tim Taylor for one episode, and then he was Santa Claus, then Buzz Lightyear.
Wait,
but when did Home Improvement start?
Yeah, I was gonna say when
because like Home Improvement's like 92, I think.
You said
91.
Tim Taylor.
Yeah. So that was.
See, this is Caden's like, I don't know. I don't compute.
The way that
this is why he's not a producer anymore.
No.
No. I'm just kidding. He left me.
Yeah, true. Well, I didn't leave. I just wasn't there.
I know. I don't care. I don't care.
It was
On this very special episode of Hollywood After Dark. Two old friends come together to bury the hatchet and realize that they
no. There was never a hatchet. Caden.
There was never.
Caden always like once Jack left.
Well, Austin left first, then Jack left.
Yeah, then Jack left, and then I was like, Caden, I know is going to move on, and I was like, I know I want to take the channel my own way, so it all happened at the right time. Right?
It was just it was a
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's like nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you make it work. You do your thing.
We had a great run, and honestly, I couldn't be happier for the friendships.
I still have producer Pop Culture Corner in my bio.
As well you should, and you're always welcome at behind the scenes.
Have everything I do in my bio right now. Like didn't do.
Caden is one person and that's why when Max was like talking or yelling the other day, like there was no one that was more supportive for Caden in that little fan award than me, because I felt an attachment to Caden because of our relationship, and how it developed, right? Because Caden was a viewer, and then
it was you, Casey, Austin, and Jack were just like always like it was the funniest thing because I forget who told me about it. Legit, I learned like 3 days before like the deadline. So and I while Zod had like
and we made a hard push for you. And but then but I mean I think that stuff could be it's a good idea. Max had a great idea. I thought it was a great idea, but I thought it was fumbled in the how it was handled was fumbled.
Yeah, Max. I think Max knows it now. Like where if he's gonna do it, I think the people that are gonna be nominated have to be notified
and sign off on being in it. Like you need to be like, yes, I'm okay with being included in that. You can't just include people.
And I think there's definitely gonna be a Fandom Award meeting situation going on with that.
Yeah, there was some stuff there that went crazy and everything else. But
Yeah.
hey, listen, that was like almost a year ago, so fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no, because I don't want to rehash all that shit. But I know I get it. I'm like, look, things evolve over time. People change, things change, situations change. As long as you're able to find a way to work.
I messaged Max, and I said, "Let's talk." You know, I don't want to leave it like that. I don't.
All right. Well, he's definitely good for that. You guys can do all that stuff. Real quick here, Kiss already. They will.
Ty will definitely make out.
Yeah. Ghost Boy here asks, when's the anime stream? I mean,
it already happened.
We did one, or is it when or where? Because like, I think
What's
it's back
the
up.
anime stream.
I had people red pill me on anime the other night.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, red pill is a term here. This is
I know the Matrix
this is a
term.
thumbnail.
Oh
I always bash anime.
Me too.
And so, but my audience loves anime, and so like we did a
It's
stream.
terrible.
We did a stream where we watched like a couple hours. We watched just trailers for anime, and it was fun. It was a good time. I can't say that
There's some anime that's enjoyable, but most of it's trash.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
It's
they
so
trust
hard.
me.
It gives me a headache because it's also flashy, like and animated. It gives me a headache. Like honestly, that's why I can't. That's all animation. That's why I don't like animation because it gives me a headache. All the fake like artificial bright color, it really like fucks with me because I'm colorblind and I'm, you know what I mean. It just fucks with my eyes and
Yeah,
that's why I don't like it. But the DC animation, I love it. I fight through it.
Well, it's with this whole thing, I'm trying to. There's a lot of copy. It's still copyright blocked apparently. I keep going and like clipping out those segments, and then it keeps telling me like, it keeps adding more to it. So it's like,
whoa, dude, I did so you know how History Channel will do like top 10 UFO sightings?
yeah.
Well, I took the video of the top 10 UFO sightings and I reacted to it. And I can't they hit me with 10 different claims and I disputed every single one of them. Got 9 overturned. 1 didn't get overturned. So then I couldn't monetize the video and, you know, not that it matters, but like it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like
Yeah.
really?
Well,
Like-
H Bars here is all like, I'll pay you to never do anime again. No, I'll do it again. You know why I'll do it again? Because there's a lot more people. There's some fun stuff there, but
You know what I want
anyway.
to get is one of those
A handy?
You know, I mean, I could walk upstairs and get that. That's
There you
fine.
go. 3 in the
I
morning.
want to get one of those the microphone stands that Rogan has where they come straight out instead of like
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In your
You
mouth.
seen the Rogan ones?
You know what?
Do that again?
Look at Rogan's new studio. Look at his microphone arms.
How
They're
does it
fucking-
work again? How does it work
they-
again with your hands?
They come straight up. Ah, you fucking asshole. I hate you. I just got it. Yeah. Well,
You're doing so much.
Oh, that's an interesting arm right there.
someone clip that out. Yeah. Do you see it?
I mean, I'm looking at like it's like as
Is
like
it the red one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's red and it comes straight out, right?
Yeah.
See, that's the one I want because I don't like this. I hate it. I want just the one that puts it right in front of my mouth, so I don't have to fuck with it and move it.
Well, there you go.
So, but
You just wanna move
Rogan's
it just wants
stuff,
to put in his mouth.
all of his stuff is like top of the line, super expensive. It's like hard
Because
to
the
get.
guy's got a lot of fucking money, man.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't just
Like,
go out and buy one.
$100 million contract with
This
Spotify.
Samson one, this Samson microphone arm was 110, and this is a really nice one.
Oh, mine's a Rode arm that I got 6 years ago, and it was like I think $99.
Yeah.
So
Like the anything over 100 for a microphone arm, it's a good quality. Like, cause I got another one, the one that's holding the camera right now, that's like a $12 one. Right?
oh
You
no,
just-
my camera is held up. I shit you not, by a $20 mic stand. right? But it's because I use a Sony ZV-1. It's a small little point and shoot when I have it on, obviously. But
well,
like,
I have tripods and stuff, but the way I have this set up, I mean, you guys have seen it before. Is I took a microphone arm and I flipped it upside down, mounted it to the ceiling so that it hangs down, and so instead of being like this, it's flipped up, and then it comes down from the ceiling, and you put the webcam on that, and you're able to move it around the room, whichever way, and that's what it's on right now. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a ghetto rig, but I mean, it
works. It works, yeah.
But what I was taught in film school was there's no wrong way to do something. Just don't break the camera.
Yeah, well, that's where with mine, the way I have it set up is I have it like the mic stand, the weighted part wedged underneath my desk, which has a metal bar at the very bottom. So if anything comes and knocks it over, it's just going to catch on that and it going nowhere. So it's like, it's just a nice way to protect it. But yeah, we are definitely losing some people as we start talking about this. But that's okay. I like
All right,
your
let's
talk
wrap
as much
it up with let's wrap it up
well,
with this.
I wanted to check out the Dungeons and Dragons trailer, which I have not seen yet.
Oh wait, what? There's
so
a Dungeons and fucking Dragons trailer?
yeah, complete with Scarlett
Chris
Johansson
Pine?
knockoff right there. Yeah.
Holy shit!
This
let's
is
do
from the
this.
director of Lego Batman, I think.
Oh my god!
yeah.
So is this theatrical or?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
This has been in the works for a while. I saw people keep saying like, it looks better than the 2000 movie.
Dude, I've been asking why they haven't made a Dungeons and Dragons movie in forever, and then someone was like, "Oh, they actually have it in development. It's filming right now." And I've been waiting to see a trailer. So
Well, here we go. Let's fucking go. Let me make sure the
You're
sound's
gonna get
up.
taken down for it, but
Fuck it. I'll fight it.
let's go.
Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves. And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies. Sometimes those enemies come looking for revenge.
Okay.
I'm in.
I'm in so far.
Truth be told, we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
You need to
To give us a fighting chance, we're gonna need strength. You got this, right?
I know you don't.
We also need courage, magic, and you.
Oh fuck yeah!
What is that again? Smell that.
Let's go!
Be warned. There is evil here.
I'm glad he's on our side.
This one's dangerous. But whatever happens,
The gelatinous cube.
we'll be ready.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
you make plans that fail.
No,
He also plays the lute.
not relevant.
Oh, so he's the bard?
Yeah, he's a
Oh, I didn't know that. That looks fucking awesome.
Dude, I am so excited. The effects for the dragon, the white dragon, that needs to be tuned. But other than that, the cinematography looked fucking great. The effects were spot on. And honestly, that was a fun trailer. Like, that got me excited.
Yeah, and that's exactly what a trailer should do. Is just
That got
like
me excited. I am so happy that you guys just showed me that because I had no idea that was out. And like now, when does that come out?
March of next year.
Oh fuck, man!
Well, I mean,
Well,
They-
okay, so they have some time to tune things up.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. But the one thing that scares me is the involvement of Chris Pine in that comedy. Right? Is that going to be warranted in Dungeons and Dragons?
I think it's
He's a
okay. I think that's
bard,
going to get your
so-
general. Yeah, he's the bard. It's going to also get in your general audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other part of that as well.
Okay. So, but Dungeons and Dragons fans aren't going to get mad about it.
I know a bunch of them, and they're like really excited about this because of
Oh,
the
okay,
lore,
cool.
because
'Cause,
of the
like-
owlbear stuff and the
Yeah,
Japanese
because like this is
cube
a
and all that.
risk.
Oh.
Whenever you make a film like this, it's a risk because
Oh, definitely.
you have legions of fucking people that
Oh.
if this isn't good,
Like we know
look
one
at
of
World
the
of
biggest ones,
Warcraft.
Joe Manganiello and Henry Cavill. Like
Yeah, look at World of Warcraft, which I honestly thought was a decent film, right? Knowing nothing about the game, I thought
Right.
it was a good movie.
same,
And
but then when the fans were like, "No,
yeah,
this is bad,"
they turned
they're
on
like,
it. Yeah,
right,
But it still did well overseas, which is really
right.
in
That's the
China. I
point.
think.
And then-
That's what I
Dude.
said like about Mortal Kombat. It's a good movie, but it's not a great Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
And then that guy, fucking what's his name? I don't know his name, but he
Ray J.
played,
John Page.
the he was in Vikings.
Oh,
I don't know.
He was
Oh.
Ragnar Lothbrok in Vikings, and they killed him off in Vikings because he signed a big picture deal to do World of Warcraft, and it was a multi-picture deal.
oh, right.
He
I-
killed off the main fucking character in
Right, I
Vikings
remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
so he could go do this big movie franchise, and then
Right.
it fucking flopped, and then we
Wasn't
were left.
Zoe Saldana also part of that? Or like,
No,
No, I think it was was it Kerry Washington?
I don't
No.
know.
It was Paula Patton. Paula Patton,
Paula
I think,
Patton,
was
right.
in and that was some weird makeup on her, man. Like
Yeah.
she's a fine actress, but like I haven't seen Warcraft. I own the fucking thing. I think I
Dude,
own
it's
it.
a good movie.
Like
And
Duncan
the guy-
Duncan Jones made it, so it's like that's fucking Bowie's kid, man. But like
Travis Fimmel. Travis Fimmel is the
Yeah,
guy.
Travis Fimmel. He plays like a wizard in. He's in
Yeah.
Raised by Wolves as well. He's in.
Right.
He was in Raised by. He always gets fucked. Like he
Yeah.
always gets fucked, dude. He's in all these
Travis-
really good shows, and then dude, Ragnar was one of the best fucking characters in any show I've ever seen in my life, and then they went like 5 seasons after he died. I was like, it made no sense.
well, that's how this shit works.
But the thing about Ragnar in history,
Yeah,
he
Ragnar
doesn't-
in history, they didn't have enough
doesn't-
history on him.
there's not enough history on him. But the time period that they did in the first season, he didn't die that year. He died like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years after that.
They could have went that whole series with him, and it wouldn't have.
Well, if
they
you
could've
if
done
he
two
jumped
seasons.
shark, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But all right, thank you for that H parts. I haven't seen Vikings, so I literally have no fucking idea.
Thank you for bringing that up, though.
But I wanted to quickly take a look at this. Did you guys see this? This is the San Diego Comic-Con just did a screening of Prey, and this is the reaction.
What is
Predator.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know what theater that they're at. Like,
Where are they looking?
They're
If
looking
he's-
at. I think the cast is right there. I think right there,
Yeah.
the guy in the white.
That's the cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cast and the director. So that's. I mean, that's cool. Good for them.
Is Dan Trachtenberg, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what is the movie?
Prey.
Prey.
It's the
first
prequel.
Predator.
It's the prequel to fucking the Predator.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's the first predator to walk on Earth. It's about that.
And it takes place during like what
During
like
the-
1400s or something.
Because
It's like
didn't
way.
Yeah.
Didn't they
It
try
takes-
the Predator remake?
Well, yeah, but this is this is a
didn't
bit
work,
different.
right?
It didn't work out from my understanding.
So
I didn't.
that's not canon.
Well, this is
That's what doesn't make
Takes place
sense
in
to me. is
1719.
In Predator and Alien and all that shit, what the fuck is canon?
It's kind of whatever you want it to be. I mean, Wayland Yutani popping up in I think it's like, AVP tried to merge them together. Prometheus didn't really acknowledge the Predator stuff. I think it's really whatever the fuck you want it to be. There's no, as far as I understand it, there's not like a real set canon, but I think people generally take them to exist in the same universe. Okay. Because like Alien versus Predator has kind of been the staple for a long time. I mean, the first movie came out like in August of 2004.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Yeah.
You put the two things against each other. They need to be in the same universe at that point. Like fundamentally, like you can't just bring them together and then like, okay, cool, we went our separate ways. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, okay, they take place in the same universe. Like it's that's what it is.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. So that's what I've never really understood. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Well,
like,
now that Disney owns them,
because I've seen Prometheus, I've seen Alien Covenant, and they never mention anything about the Predators. But I've never seen. I need to watch all the Alien and all the Predators again.
I mean, like what Predator 2 has got the alien skull, the xenomorph skull in it, and so there's things like
they laid the groundwork.
They laid the groundwork in it, but I mean, look, with Disney now having both. Again, I think in the way they like to build out franchises and they're trying to build up both of them again, I think we'll be okay. But the last thing I want to look at tonight, guys.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I think they might want to use Alien and Predator, kind of like Warner Brothers is using Kong and Godzilla, right?
If they can create it, there's a bunch of comics and books and stuff that go back like fucking 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there they could pull from.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's funny, Benson here, I think he's really behind on the chat because we talked about The Walking Dead, I think like 20, 30 minutes ago. But thanks, buddy.
Walking Dead was good until Negan showed up.
I stopped watching when Glenn fell off the dumpsters, the last thing I saw. So I know what happened with Negan. I'm good. Yeah. But anyway, so this right here, this is the Masters of the Universe
40th
season 2
anniversary panel.
This is the what?
It's the 40th anniversary panel.
Is this what this was? Okay.
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren showed up.
Okay.
Right,
Lundgren.
Spoilers, bro.
Lundgren. But apparently William Shatner and Kevin Smith get into some kind of swear off. I haven't seen this yet, but let me see it.
Well, fucking play it.
Well, double dumbass on you. That's so fucking lousy. What kind of a shitty statement is that? Well, now you just sound like my mother. I think I lost. Fuck. I feel sorry for your mother. The gentleman behind me.
Okay. Dude, to be trading Bance with fucking Shat would be fucking awesome, dude.
Kevin Smith versus Shat, like that's epic.
That's pretty great. That's pretty good.
I'm not a Kevin Smith fan though.
You're missing out, man. You're missing out.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
100% you're missing.
No, I'm not. Like I'm not. I already know I'm not because I tried. He has some good shit. He does. He knows his stuff for sure. It's just when he comes to him making movies, I don't like his stuff. Tusk, I couldn't even couldn't
look,
get
his original shit is way better than I think his new stuff. Tusk, Red State, Yoga Hosers, those are all meant to be experimental, trying to break out of the mold that he had kind of put himself into with like Clerks and Mallrats and Jason Amy and shit.
I understand. I get it.
So he's trying, but it's like, look, I think Masters of the Universe Revelations was a fire ass show. I really liked it. I really enjoy the Clerks movies. I think they're really heartfelt.
He also directed a bunch of the CW Arrow.
Yeah, but what you have to understand though about those shows though is that those are like directors are kind of like not even really like that
I understand.
big.
I get it. I'm just saying. Like it just seems like anything he's involved with, I end up not liking it, and then he's just not for me.
He's a nerd like us, and he is doing his thing.
Yeah, I respect him. I really do. He's a legend.
But you're missing
out. I met him twice.
And you are disgraced when you met him, because if you don't like his stuff and you met him, that's weird.
What? It's not weird.
It's a bit
I
weird.
met him. No, I met him at Rock and Shock when they screened. He did an animated movie with it was like a weird Jay and Silent Bob animated movie.
Yeah,
and they screened it at Rock and Shock, and then they did a meet and greet after. And I was with my cousin, and he wanted to meet them, so I went up with them, and I met them, and then I met them again after a couple years later at the same kind of event. And yeah, Kevin's, like I said, he's a good person. I just don't like his movies. That's it. I think he knows what he's talking about, especially when it comes to comic books and stuff like that. Super knowledgeable.
Well, that Jay and Silent Bob animated thing, that was done by Jay Muse. That wasn't done by Kevin produced it, I think, but that was Jay's baby.
Oh, yeah, it was actually pretty good though. Like it made me laugh a bunch.
Kevin Smith is the original Metro.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Yeah, also the Clerks animated series is 6 episodes of pristine greatness.
Right.
So I'd recommend that one. I see McLeod's been spamming this in the chat. Okay, before things shut down, what are my thoughts with today's Jan 6 hearing? Also, Simon Pegg's comments on Star Wars fans. I mean, Simon Pegg is right about Star Wars fans, but remember back in like 2015 when he made the comment about the infantilization of pop culture? Like we're all acting like infants and babies over it, and he got shit on back then too. So he's been pretty consistent with his thought process on that one. So I get it. But as for Jan 6, man, I watched today. I mean, like nothing that was super shocking, but I already kind of figured like everything out. But like, actually, no. What was really shocking was the Mike Pence stuff, was seeing Mike Pence leave, and like the recorded conversations between Secret Service.
Yeah.
And like, that was really interesting. And also Josh Hawley running like a bitch. That was funny. And, you know, the fact that like, yeah, we at this point can more or less ascertain that, but for 177 minutes or 187 minutes, Donald Trump allowed this to happen. He allowed people to die. He allowed people to be injured, and he allowed a potential overthrow of the government to happen. And there needs to be consequences on that front. And, you know, the people out there that keep trying to go, man, it was just a walk in the park, man. You know, nothing fucking happened on that. You know, you're watching Fox News, and they're deathly afraid to show you the fucking truth on that shit. So, you know, that's how I view it.
Listen, you can hold him accountable for sure, but you also need to hold the people that took it that far the most accountable, right? Like, yes, he incited it, but you also need to hold it. You need, like, it's a tragedy of so much it's a mentality that was created around Donald Trump. You know, it's that almost cult mentality.
I get what you're saying, but I think like, I think when during the actual riot in the Capitol, Trump only really tweeted like two
could
things.
Have said like, "Hey, get
no,"
the
but
fuck
he didn't
out.
want to. He didn't want to. They literally were pressing him and pressing him and pressing him to do it. But he says like Mike Pence like is a coward basically, and that was and then during
didn't he like give up his location or something like that?
No, that was Lauren Boebert was tweeting out like where Nancy Pelosi was.
Okay.
And then I mean that was under some serious like scrutiny and shit. But like the thing is, I mean, it's like Trump didn't want to do anything. He sat idly by. He enjoyed it.
Yeah, because he's a sore loser.
Well, he's a sociopath, right? Yeah, he's a sore loser, sociopath, and he has power.
He's a sore loser and he's a sociopath. Yeah,
but these guys, yeah. But the thing is, though, people went there with the intent to hunt down Mike Pence, probably not to kill him.
Is that you think that's
yes?
You think that's 100% true?
Yes.
That people
yes.
Went to but that's like saying people went to storm Area 51.
No, dude, you haven't paid attention, man. What you've got is 3 separate groups of people that work together. You've got the Proud Boys, you've got the Oath Keepers, and then there's another one that I can't think of right now. The 3%ers, I think, right? No, Antifa had nothing to do with it. What are you talking about?
No,
Antifa means anti-fascist. It's nothing to do with January 6th.
I was just no, I was throwing it out there to see if it was the third one.
No. Antifa not involved at all.
Okay,
This was
but
entirely a right-wing
Proud
operation.
Boys,
Proud Boys, 3%ers, Oath Keepers.
Okay.
All right. And they worked generally in unison on this one. That's why you have like Enrico Tarrio, who was the former head of the Proud Boys, currently up on sedition charges. Those might be a little bit hard to prove, but there's a lot there that's been brought up. All right. You've got people that I know a dude the guy who went into fucking Nancy Pelosi's office and like made phone calls is a guy named Baked Alaska. I've known him from the fucking like internet commentary days.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah. So I'm like watching this shit unfold, and I'm like, I'm watching this thing today, and I'm hearing Baked Alaska's voice, and I'm like, fuck, man. And here's the thing, Baked
is Tribal, you know, like that my job, and we had Karen Bass on the show, and she was talking about how she, like, if she was in that, because she was there 10 minutes before, like, that, like, they entered the center room with that big statue and everything, and the dude was holding the antlers, and she, when she was talking about it, she said there were people chanting to find people to lynch. Like,
yeah, see, that's crazy.
They were trying to find Mike Pence because they wanted to, if they could have gotten Mike Pence out of the building,
a bunch of other people just to like,
that they would have actually strung him up.
I think. Well, here's the thing.
Have tried.
I think that if
because they were doing some brutal shit to the police.
There's
no question about it.
I mean, like
when
legit,
you see
three of them
the
who
footage of that
off
tunnel
themselves because of the situation.
You know the footage of that tunnel where it was like the police, it was like their last stand, pushing people out, and it was like this very tight spot, and like seeing the footage from that, like it's heartbreaking, like to see people just acting that crazy and all over fucking something so fucking ridiculous.
But you have to understand, Trump had spent months talking about how the election was stolen. All of those lawsuits that went nowhere, that failed miserably in the courts, the constant auditing in a multitude of states.
He groomed it.
He absolutely groomed them. He primed these people to believe that their voice had been stolen, that the will of the people had been undermined by the elite.
I just don't think he's that smart.
Dude, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't. You have to understand. It's like you can't.
About smart.
You
it's
can't.
About
yeah,
the control you have.
You cannot sit there and apply it like that.
His followers and so much control and influence on the conservative, like, part of the Republican Party. He has so much control that these last 2 years have been like shit, like politically.
Well, I mean, so what are you guys gonna do when he runs again?
I don't think I don't think he has the political capital to win. To be honest with you,
he doesn't.
He's definitely gonna run though.
He's gonna try, but him threatening to run is not really about like winning right now. It's about clearing the playing field. It's about like, I'm going to run. I'm still the de facto leader of the Republican Party. So you guys better get behind me. So anyone else who is looking to make a challenge, if you're not like a well-established person, are probably going to end up getting like booted. You're not going to run because there's no point. Right. So the only person who really stands a good shot at like beating Trump in the primary is DeSantis, who is arguably worse than Trump. Trump is like, I would prefer Trump over DeSantis because at least Trump's worst machinations, we understand those. DeSantis is a literal fucking monster who is like trying to really hurt fucking Florida. And God forbid he gets the opportunity to do that to the American people. It's just terrible shit. But the thing is, though, and that's all down the road. We have no fucking idea. But what matters, though, is making sure that this particular situation doesn't happen again. And that is also part of securing.
Is DeSantis New York or California?
No, he's Florida.
Florida. He's in Florida.
Yeah.
I thought the people loved him down there.
People love him, but it's like,
down there, but people don't love him anywhere else, but the other red states. So, like the full-on red states, like he's like Trump wannabe. Like, no, Trump wants to be DeSantis, like that's what. So
I think the world of politics is just like it's honestly, it's it's petty. It's old school. It's like, and when I say old school, I mean like you got these people that are in office. Like I'm not talking about the president who's a fucking, he's a temp. I'm talking about career politicians, bureaucrats.
Like the SCOTUS.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, all these people that, are career politicians, they're the problem right now. We need we need younger, new leadership, people that are open to more of today's world, more of an understanding. I hate to say that, but
it also needs to be on the party system to be open as well, because you have the Republican Party, who's just like, we all know how the Republican RNC, the GOP, is just a bunch of weirdos, like taking over the conservatives, and then you have the DNC, who's like doesn't want any real contribution from the left, so it's like it's all very gatekeeping in politics with those two parties.
yeah. And
They're like the biggest
it's very
gatekeepers.
messy. It's so messy.
It's
But
messy.
so messy.
but what we're talking about is this specific incident, right?
Yeah.
This specific incident is pretty cut and fucking dry. There was a coordinated effort by members within Trump's own inner circle and leading all the way up to Trump himself that tried to and failed overthrow democracy. This led to bringing thousands of people to the Capitol with the intent of harming, with the intent of harming people and stopping the process from happening.
Yeah.
And that's what today was. Today was showcasing how Donald Trump's inactions were very, very adamant and well known
So
throughout.
is he going to be prosecuted in any way?
Well, that's the thing is the January 6th commission is kind of, this isn't like today was like, I think the last hearing until September. It's
September, like late August.
It's like,
no, it's
like-
September.
like
It's September.
for all
So
the shit this guy's done over his life, is he ever going to get prosecuted over anything he's
well,
ever
they need to
done?
ask. Well, what they'll do probably is they'll need to figure out like,
Guy's
can
been
they like
impeached twice,
well, here's the thing though, right? Is like,
grabs the pussies.
yeah, but the impeachment process. That's again, he had a Republican led Senate, and they're just gonna like vote for him.
Yeah, they
anyway.
overturned it. It was
Because they're fucking
useless.
they're feckless
It's
little
useless.
bitches. But yeah, right. They all got no balls. There's no balls. Little. I mean, dude, even fucking vaginas can take a better pounding than them. I don't even know what you'd call them. They're just fucking Ken dolls. How about that shit?
Or they're gelatin squares.
Yeah, so the gelatinous cubes, yeah. But it's like the thing is though is that in this scenario, it's up to the DOJ to determine whether or not to go after that. But Trump is currently facing multiple legal challenges or legal issues in New York, not only the state but the Southern District of New York, so the city itself of New York. You've got Georgia. There's other places as well. I mean that are
he has
going
legal
after him.
Problems like everywhere, honestly.
Yeah, so it's like him running for president. The reason why he'd want to win is because that would protect him for 4 more years, because no one is going to prosecute a sitting president.
Yeah.
So it's like if that's what he wants to do.
And or like if he gets one of his buddies, or he gets buddy with whoever is in the Republican Party trying to run for president, he'll try to have them pardon him.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to prosecute a sitting president. But it's also hard to prosecute a living former president.
Well, the thing is though, but no one is above the law. Is what Merrick Garland has said, and what really is going to matter here is whether or not Biden makes a push. Biden is going to try to remain as.
I heard Biden had COVID.
Yeah, he got COVID, but he's doing better. But I mean, the thing is, like, Biden has tried to remain impartial on this. Overall, he has tried to remain impartial, but like Trump wouldn't have cared. Trump would have absolutely like thrown his hat into the ring and talked about it, which does sway people's opinions and it sways people's actions. If the president talks about it, like that has weight behind it. There's gravity there. So Biden is trying to let the J6 committee do their thing. And what they've presented lays out a really solid case for just like how fucked things were. And it's up now and the committee is still like, again, every time they talk, more people come forward. Like Cassidy Hutchinson, her original attorney was one provided for, I believe, by Trump's super PAC, had been paying the legal fees. And she ended up firing that lawyer and getting a new lawyer because the lawyer that was paid for by Trump was actually trying to hinder her cooperation with the J6 committee. And so other people are trying to like get this information out there because they actually care about the country. The thing is what you have is you've got 77 million people, if not more, who believe that this was a stolen election based upon lies spread by Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and the entirety of far-right Twitter and all the other bullshit. And they've been so goddamn indoctrinated that they're not ever going to be able to see the fucking light. The best part about this, and this is me being a bit dickish, but I'll say it, the best part about this is the vast majority of them are going to be dead in the next 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
And that's
a
the
good
time.
thing.
Time cleanses all, ultimately.
Time cleanses all, my friends.
It does. And it's not to say I want people dead or nothing like that, but it's like these people, they actively.
But they're dinosaurs.
But they did it. But they still did it. And then a lot of them have they're being prosecuted as insurrection. Well, not. I mean, being treated as such, maybe not being prosecuted as such, right?
What about the 86-year-old woman with cancer?
What about what?
That there was an 86-year-old woman with cancer who entered the Capitol, who has been sentenced to 6 months in prison.
Good.
And you can't help but like feel bad, but it's like, yeah, you probably should not have done that.
I mean, I think 6 months is like too much. Yeah, I think for 86, it's like, what is she gonna do? But at the same time, it's like leniency doesn't apply.
Yeah, but that's almost gonna kill her though.
And
like,
you know what? And I agree. That's tragic. I do agree. Like I said, I think, it's like, it's going to be minimal security.
The treatment for cancer in jail. Like
you can get it. Yeah, you can get it. Yeah. You won't be denied. You won't be denied treatment for anything in jail.
Yeah. But you're not getting top of the line, like service.
No, but she may not be getting that anyway. We have no idea.
Yeah.
And the question, I mean, like the thing is like, again, it's like it's either all okay or none of it's okay. And that's where we are.
Yeah,
that's where we are. And if it's not okay, then people need to pay the price.
Yeah,
because we can't let this happen again.
It's not okay. Like there's no other way to paint this. That is not okay. In any, I mean, it's like let's say Donald Trump occupied the White House and didn't want to leave after he left, right? And no one, I don't know. I'm trying to like paint a picture where maybe it would be okay. If like someone was trying to actually impede democracy with like, say it was spun the other way and Donald Trump was like, no, I'm not leaving, and just like played it that way. Cause like, I remember that was people were actually concerned that may happen, that he would just not concede or not. I mean, he didn't concede, but people were saying like, he might just not leave. And in that case, if people went in and like took him out, I could see that. But the way that was handled that day, no, that was violent, vicious, and it should have never happened. And it was an attack against the country. I mean, you could call them terrorists.
Well, I think domestic terrorism is a very it's an okay word to use. I think it really is. And the thing is, though, I know people out there don't want to have these conversations. It's not that I always want to have them either, but I think that it's important. I think that like when you have both Republicans and Democrats coming together and saying that it was a very secure election and that it is not what they say, and then you've got that as an issue, and then you've also got people out there that are trying to argue that like you have these Republican-led legislatures that are trying to pass, and in many instances, passing voting laws that are restricting polling places, and they're trying to cut out mail voting, because that was the whole thing. Is Democrats will more often than not vote by mail, and that's what happened. That was the whole plan of what they tried to do on the election in 2020, was to basically force people. Okay, like in Pennsylvania specifically. And by the way, this is me saying this is what got me blocked by Gina Carano, even though I'm being 100% factual and I in no way approach this in a negative way or like in a hostile way. But in Pennsylvania, the Republican-led state legislature had voted to make sure that none of the mail-in ballots could have been counted until after all of the polling places had closed and all of those votes had been counted. which means that as the numbers were coming out, as the pressure was mounting on either party, if it was looking one way or the other, that having those legislatures make sure that people who voted by mail were unable to have their votes counted until later meant that it would take longer to get to an actual conclusion.
Yeah. Okay.
And what they wanted to do was to have such a lead over Biden that Biden would then just like concede because there's no feasible way for him to win, which, and that's what they tried to do. And so
because the ballots on half of them hadn't even been counted or even opened.
Yeah, they hadn't even been counted yet, right? So that was the whole thing. Well, okay, hold on here real quick. Degrassi says here Republicans vote by mail too. Yeah, well, I live in Washington. All voting here is done by mail.
But the consensus was more Democrats voted by mail and Republicans went into the polls. Like that's the way.
Yeah, well, Trump also told them to show up to the polls. Like he told them to show up to the polls and everything else. So the issue there essentially is that in Pennsylvania specifically, once the polls closed and they were able to get those numbers in, it was looking really good for Trump. But when the count started to come on in, it started to shrink that gap. And especially in Arizona, I'll tell you this though, the linchpin for it wasn't Phoenix, it wasn't Pennsylvania. It was actually Fox News calling Arizona for Biden. Because when Fox News called Arizona for Biden, this is exactly when the Republicans lost their shit. They lost their fucking mind. They were Fox News was getting like death threats and shit because they were like, whoa, what do you mean you can call this for Biden? No one else called this for Biden. You guys are clearly wrong. And that actually led to like armed protesters going down to voting to polling stations, right? Like I think in Maricopa County to like protest outside. And there was like, you're wondering, are they going to storm this building and stop the count? Right? Like that was the whole thing is all their tactic was at first was push people to say stop the count, try to get the votes to actually be stopped, the count to actually be stopped, declare a winner that way. When that failed, they tried to go through 60 lawsuits in order to try to like force the changing of the vote or say that it was fraudulent. None of those ever had any shred of evidence remotely pushed towards them being accurate. All were tossed out. Then, and this is the fucking kicker, are the false slate of electors. They tried sending false electors like to state capitals and even tried getting those electors to be given to Mike Pence as a way to get around the actual.
What is a false elector?
Okay, so you have electors. Okay, so the Electoral College, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the Electoral College, in my opinion, is outdated and it's bullshit and needs to be abolished. 100%. That's my take on it. A lot of people disagree.
No, it's stupid. It's not.
Yeah, they think that the Electoral College is meant to like prevent the will of the tyranny, right? Or like the majority, the tyranny of majority, I think is what the term is. But I also look at it like this.
It just means that fucking whoever's, oh God, it makes me so frustrated even thinking about it.
Yeah, and I don't want more or less. To kind of touch on the fake electors thing, is that so you have electors that are voted for each state, and those slate of electors will then meet following the election, and they cast their ballot for their vote for who wins, right, or for who's going to get those electoral votes for the state. Largely, those electors will simply just cast their votes for like who got the most votes, right? Sometimes you get some people who like will vote, like they'll toss one electoral vote or whatever, like to somebody else as like more of a protest, but they ultimately know that it doesn't do shit. So in this particular case, they tried getting false electors, people who were not voted in by the state, to come on in and present their documentation claiming that they're giving their electoral votes to Donald Trump. And they actually tried to get this in the hands of Mike Pence the day of January 6th in order to make sure that either it would cause enough confusion to where Pence would refuse to certify the votes, meaning that it would go back to the states, giving the Trump campaign more time to try to manipulate things. Or he would just say, fuck it, and not or cast them through or certify them, which would then give the win to Donald Trump. And the false electors were even like before doing this, trying to do this in some states, were even trying to contact the Trump campaign. Like, hey, can we get like legal representation for this? Like, we might need that, because they were legitimately attempting to overthrow the will of the people, right? They were trying to overthrow the will of the masses, right? The people that support the Electoral College, they were trying to literally use it against them in order to overthrow democracy. But yet I'm the crazy one when I say it's time to abolish Electoral College.
No, the Electoral College is outdated. It needs to go. It's stupid, because our votes don't really matter if you think about it.
No, our votes. Well, no, our votes actually, they do matter. They do matter.
They matter to a degree.
I think there's an apathy there that I think needs to be culled, because our votes matter. But our vote, what it is though, is it's our view of the vote. Our view of the vote is generally looked at as being only needed when discussing like federal things. Well, there's only one federal election, and that's presidential once every 4 years. But multiple times every year in your own county, city, state, whatever, you have local elections.
No. Local elections, like I'm talking about the presidential election, right? That's it. Local election, that's the shit that matters. Like, that's the stuff that affects you personally every single day, right? Those are like the real fundamental things that you should be involved in, especially local, like mayors and representatives, all that stuff.
I agree, and I've been actively trying to be in my area, and that is sometimes it's tough because you kind of forget, but it's like it's trying to like vote in every local election and pay attention to what people are saying, and that gets difficult because there isn't as much of an emphasis on this kind of shit anymore. My whole point though, because I do want to get to bed, because I was going to watch Gray Man, but yeah, you're falling. It's late your time. I'm just saying. Okay, real quick. You're rational for $5. Thank you. It says we need to allow third parties in the debates and allow ranked choice voting and end the corporate controlled duopoly. I don't know if, I mean, look, man, I'm not too sure how I like the ranked choice voting. I always felt that that's kind of a very slippery slope system in like Iowa, where you have the caucuses and stuff. Never been a fan of that personally. And if maybe I got the state wrong, but you know what I mean? Now, as for third parties in the debates, 100%. In fact, here's what the debate, here's the thing. We don't need to have debates in between the different parties. What we need is to have a battle royale debate style system, but with everybody who's running, Republican, Democrat, Independent, at the same time. The Democrat and Republican shouldn't debate 3 times leading into the federal election.
Yeah.
They need to debate literally all the way through. And that was actually in 2016, Donald Trump wanted to debate Bernie Sanders. That would have been, and that never happened. That would have been so fucking good. But like,
dude,
Bernie
hey, say what you want. Say what you want about Donald Trump, but his debates are like, I'm talking entertainment value, some of the best television in the world. It's because it is so fucking petty, and it's so funny. The entertainment value was tremendous.
Oh, it's pretty goddamn fucking funny. I think I do like watching the debates, but again, Trump going after Bernie would be the wrong move for Trump, because Bernie would just trounce him. Like you would, you're gonna have a New York, and
Actually, he would ruin him.
Oh.
But Trump would attack him personally.
Oh,
like,
I mean, you have someone who knows the facts and the truths and stuff, versus someone who just wants to get the dirt and drama off of someone.
Yeah, because Trump would be like, "Don't you have like a third house or whatever?" Because that was a whole bullshit going around for a while.
Yeah.
And then Bernie would be like, "Let's talk about your taxes."
Yeah.
How much money do you owe to the government, Mr. Trump? How many times have you lied about this, Mr. Trump? He would bam, 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 bam,
I
bam.
love that.
Like
keep doing that impression.
I'll tell you right now, you would not win. He would do whatever. Like he would just be like, the millionaires and the billionaires, even fake billionaires like Mr. Trump. Like he would just insult him to his face and he would throw him off. Like you can't go after an 80-year-old New
you
York
can't.
Jew and expect to like fucking have a New York socialite rattle his ass. It's
Dude,
not gonna happen.
I kind of wish Bernie would be president at least once.
Dude,
in our
they're
lifetime.
I have seen
like I
rumblings
said,
on
the
like the media
DNC
saying is
fucked him
Bernie
over.
planning a third run, and I'm like, don't fuck with me. Don't give me fucking hope.
The GNC will fucked him over the first time and shit.
It just sucks that we found out that they like his own party fucked him over. Like that.
Well, the thing is,
that was
the
degrading.
crazy thing is that he realized running independent won't get you really much anywhere. You have to run in one of the two main parties. The one main party
That's the problem with the system right there.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is also when he joined the DNC was like, oh, you're gonna join us? Oh, that's cool. Let's take away 10% of your budget and give it to Hillary.
Yeah, well, that was the thing with like the DNC. They did fuck over Bernie in 2016, and they fucked him over again in 2020. And look, they'd fuck him over again in 2024. But here, check this out, just so you guys understand. Like, this was me, February 2020, right before COVID. I was front row for the Bernie Sanders rally at Tacoma Dome back then. So,
nice.
I mean. I hate the term Bernie bro because I think it's cringe. But
I think he's the most logical choice for president.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
He is the most logical choice for president, but they'll never let it.
He's the only smart fucking person. Because if you think about it, it's like only idiots want to be president, right? Only idiots. So like in the past,
the thing is he said himself he doesn't want to be president because it's like a high title. He wants to be president so then he can like be like the actual true president where like an actual president where he
wants to be a president like JFK was a president. He wants to be a president like Lincoln was a president. He wants to make change on a fucking fundamental level that would affect government and affect people for like the longevity, right? He wouldn't want to be one of these temporary motherfuckers who just want to get by, smile for the cameras, and live the rest of their lives out like Barack Obama will, right? Or Bill Clinton will. Career fucking bureaucrats again, with all their money, right? The money's at the end of the day.
Bernie Sanders would have been like, oh, like, yeah, let me change that real quick for you.
Well, the thing with Bernie,
to be honest with you, I've always been more. I vote Republican more often. Not lately, I'll say that. But I would vote for Bernie Sanders. That's how fundamentally, like, I would change just to see what that man could do, because I think he was a logical choice for president.
I think where he's at right now is a good spot for him right now, and because he has actual authority and can do stuff. Yeah. The problem right now, though, is Biden is just like it's getting late and I do want to go to bed, but it's like Biden is very much like trying to play to the middle ground, and the country is moving so far away from that. On both extremes, but it's like the left is like, hey, we want access to healthcare, we want access to education, we want to have actual investment in our people to bring jobs to the country, and we need to get away from these old systems. Or the right's all like, but 1950, man.
It's like
it's like half the time the guy doesn't even know where he is. So I mean, I hate to bring it up.
Well, I mean, listen, I'd still rather than him than the alternative. That's just me being honest.
That's not the way to look at it.
No, I know it's not the way to look at it, dude, but my candidate was Bernie. I still voted for Biden. I still did my part as a Democrat, even though I hate the party half the fucking time because I feel they do stupid shit. And I feel that they fucking cater to stupid people who just all they want to do is just all it is now is just seals barking for fucking fish to get clout on the goddamn internet. That's really all it boils down. That's both sides. It's all virtue signal without any actual fucking plan. I was discussing this the other day, and I'm like,
hold on. I can't do this. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, we gotta go. I know we gotta go. This whole thing is crazy. Thank you, listening, guys. It's been 4 hours. It's a long stream. I'm not gonna be on tomorrow night because I got to work tomorrow night. But I will be watching Gray Man hopefully in the morning. or at least I don't know. Is it rated R? It's rated R. Fuck, I can't watch it then. I'll have to wait till the afternoon. I'll watch it. I'll review it. I'm gonna get some more reviews out this week, and we'll wait to see what happens tomorrow. If anything crazy happens, I'll go live. If not, Saturday morning.
It's Marvel Animation tomorrow. Is the
well, yeah, I'm gonna follow that. But I mean, if it's big, I'll check it out. But like, I won't do a 4 hour.
Kind of shit.
Yeah, but for the DC panel on Saturday, man, that's gonna be gonna be intense.
Yeah, it just sucks that I have to be at a different Comic-Con. Like,
yeah, that does suck. That does blow. That does
you know what
suck.
I mean? Like, I'm gonna be getting fed information, but then you have to like work it in, and it's like awkward because you know. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Caden and Ty, and obviously Dane and RJ and Chris. Good conversation, great conversation. Remember, guys, Hollywood After Dark on YouTube. That's the domain, youtube.com, Hollywood After Dark. Check it out. That's where the archive will be. And I'll talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great night, and peace the fuck out.
All right.